Clown, Charlie Brown.
Let's
All
see
right.
if everything starts looking good. I don't know if you saw the thumbnail yet.
No, actually, let me go to your channel and check it out.
Sounds good. There may be quite some eccentric people. I ended up pissing off a lot of people the other day.
Really? What could you have
Oh,
possibly posted?
oh, you know. I'm sure there'll be some interesting people that come on in. But we'll go ahead and just ignore those.
Let me see. Whoops, I'm on the wrong channel. Technology, am I right?
Exactaroo. No, I gotta
Like
turn you up here.
1 second I'm here, and then the next second I'm on the wrong one. All right, let me scroll. What the heck?
Actually, it'd probably be easier if I
Probably be easier if you just link it, because clearly I'm not very what's the word? Am I technologically inept? Does that mean I'm bad at this?
Nah, YouTube makes it very, very difficult in general to find my channel because I don't think they like me very much.
Well, yeah, I would imagine that they are not in favor. I heard some funny things about YouTube.
Yeah, that's one thing I actually figured I'd bring up, you know, is the whole
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's priceless.
I couldn't help myself.
Oh wow, yeah, this is great.
Cool. Yeah, so did you end up noticing anything about like your videos being remonetized easier or anything like that?
No, I hadn't really had like I would have to check the cover channel because that's the only one that ever doesn't have monetization, but that's because I don't own the rights to the songs.
Oh, okay, that would be probably a little different. I was talking about more like, you know, you told me last time like you were dragging the stuffed animals through water, stuff like that. Things that are more, I guess you could say, quote unquote, brutal.
Oh, yeah. Let me look at the Tala channel because that one does have some demonetized stuff, and then I can give you an answer here.
So I don't know how well it would have affected music, but apparently Ethan Klein ended up talking with YouTube and was like, hey, when it comes to like commentary channels and stuff that get demonetized for mentioning certain things or anything that's quote unquote brutal.
Ethan, what? Who's this guy?
Oh,
Ethan?
H3H3.
Oh, the YouTube guy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He apparently talked to him, but he had also claimed that he had no connections on the inside of YouTube at all.
Whoa,
and
that
I'm actually
contradictory.
Well, I'm actually a little guilty for backing him and being like, I believe him. And then he came out and was like, I used my YouTube connections to get everyone their monetization back, and it was just like, thought you said that didn't exist. Because apparently he was accused of using his YouTube connections to demonetize people that were talking badly about him.
Really?
Yeah, so it's this whole entire scandal. But it may have fixed it for you and quite a few other people.
Huh. I mean, since I'm a musician, I usually don't have issues with monetization unless it's like specifically because I don't own the rights to whatever musical thing I've done. Maybe on Hungry Potus actually, because I do some controversial gaming things. But even then, the only ones that I ever get demonetized are because I like put in a song that I don't have the rights to. Well, I'm gonna share your stream real quick on my Hungry Lights community thing, so people can come watch.
Appreciate it.
Live now on podcast. Come watch my meetups.
Yeah.
All right, we should get a couple people filtering in at least. That'll make it, you know what they say, more flags, more fun.
That is true. That is very true.
All right, so tell me, actually, hold on. Let me look at my, let me put it on this screen so that I don't want you to have to look at the side of my head. Let me go to Hungry Poachers and see. Because really, like, all of the demonetization stuff I've ever experienced is just because I don't own the rights to the music. which
No,
is
I understand
perfectly
that.
understandable.
Yeah.
I don't think like even like I've had like Tala's video for Cottonmouth is limited. It's not demonetized, but they're like it might be unsuitable for certain advertisers, which is also understandable.
So that actually, they may have fixed things like that as well.
That one I just checked that one. That one's
Oh,
definitely
it still is. Okay.
But that one might have been totally demonetized before, so maybe they like gave it to us now.
It's possible. It just always depends. But, you know, YouTube was doing funny things to me. Like before, I was talking about Taylor Swift and how she was, like, wanting all these statues torn down. And I was like, oh, you know, if statues are legitimately offensive, I think people ought to vote. And then they need to put them in a museum or something. So it's not completely erased or anything, but put a plaque up saying, oh, this was a very racist guy, but this is what he did.
But it's still somebody's artwork.
That too, and I mean that person gets forgotten as well.
Yeah,
And
I mean I don't know. I don't like when people tear down statues.
Same here. But you know, I was like, if they vote for it and they move it to a museum, explain the statue so people know it in full context.
Use the system.
Exactly. But YouTube demonetized it, age restricted it, and said that it was due to hateful and incitement of violence. Hateful conduct and incitement of violence. And I was like,
okay.
I was like, I don't recall sharing any hate or violent rhetoric or anything like that. But
so what they really meant was that it was demonetized because you had a different opinion than YouTube does.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty much it. And that's the funny thing about it. Oh, geez.
I mean, it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
Pretty much. I mean, that's just YouTube in a nutshell.
Yeah, but on the bright side, is it did you say it was remonetized? Like you're good to go now?
Yeah, it actually is.
That's interesting. So this is really going to affect a lot of the political commentary channels and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's what's interesting about it. It's and they claim that it was a glitch.
Of course they're going to claim it was a glitch.
Exactly. It's like, this has been going on for months. And then out of nowhere, Ethan Klein's like, oh, hey, by the way, there's this. And, you know, the whole YouTube community is yelling at YouTube going, hey, what's wrong with this? And they just ignore him. Ethan Klein mentions one thing, and they're just like, bloop. Within 1 hour, they're like, we fixed it. I'm just like, suspicious. But you said on Hungry Potus, you do gaming content there, huh?
Yeah, but I actually just checked. None of those videos are monetized because that whole channel actually got demonetized years ago because when they did that stupid thing where they were like, you have to have a certain amount of watch hours in order to monetize. So even though I have like a lot of views on that channel and like 6K subs, it got demonetized because I didn't upload for like a year. So I lost all my watch hours for that year and they demonetized it. And I just don't upload on that channel frequently enough. So the whole channel is demonetized.
That's a bummer. Holy crap. Somebody just sent $100. Was that an accident? $100 super chat?
Is it red?
Yeah.
No, that wasn't an accident. You just made $100.
I'm gonna. How do I split that with you? Can I?
You don't have to. You don't have to split it with me.
I mean, man, you are in here with me.
Who was it?
A guy named Liberties. Oh, Liberties. Is it like T-shirts, or are you a little tease?
Liberties. Oh, well, that's awesome. Oh, you know what? I probably should keep the chat open.
Holy crap, though. That's amazing.
No, man, that's all you. Enjoy that.
Man, that's actually legitimately, I didn't even know I had super chats enabled. That is my first super chat.
That's your first super chat ever, and it's $100, dude.
Oh, wow.
That's
Holy
awesome,
crap.
Man.
Oh,
well,
Liberty
I'm glad I shared it.
Man, I appreciate that. Holy crap, that's terrifying to me that was not an accident. It would have been even more terrifying. Well, it wouldn't have been as terrifying if it was an accident because I would have refunded it. That's... Oh.
No, man, don't refund it. You can't refund somebody's kindness.
Oh, no. I wouldn't refund someone's kindness. I immediately looked at him like, you sure that wasn't $10, man? Because that's...
No, I've been there. I've definitely... the first time it happened to me, I was just like, hey, that's a lot of money. And they're just like, yeah, don't worry about it.
Man,
People, they like spending money on things they like. I'm one of those people too. If I like somebody, if I had that money lying around and I like somebody, I'm like, here's $100, man. I watch your content. That's what people do.
I appreciate it. And by the way, he did say that he bought your CD.
Which CD? I have a lot of CDs, so I can't tell you which one to enjoy. I'm guessing it was a solo project because Tala's CD isn't out yet.
Well, he dropped $100. I'm gonna assume he bought them all.
Yeah, maybe he did.
Oh man, so I was listening to what cover was I listening to earlier, and it was amazing. It was where's the video? I lost it. How did I lose it?
I gotta cut my nails. They're getting a little scary.
Or
dude, he just gave you another. He just gave you another $100. He sent you another 100 and said, "Have a good night, guys."
Man, I'm about to freaking faint.
What a nice guy. Thanks,
no
Liberties.
Joke. An unbelievably nice guy.
That's awesome.
Oh my god. I don't know what to say.
You've only been live for what? Not even 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Wow, I'm baffled. Holy crap.
See, whenever I think the world is a horrible place, people like that show up. And I'm like, there are some gems out there for sure.
No joke. What an amazing person. Holy crap. Thank you. I almost thought, so it was Shane Longest that was saying that. I almost thought Liberties was like, just buy some Liberties. And I was like, I will buy one. But Shane, I really hope that guy does sell Liberties.
You another $50.
What in the world? By the way, he says, by the way, Justin, I absolutely love your covers. Holy shit.
Oh, I'm glad you like them, man. I live to please.
Oh my gosh. So, yeah, you sure you don't want to split this, man? I am more than happy to.
This is your channel.
Oh, man. Well, shoot, we're going to have to do this on your channel sometime then. Repay that. You know?
No, it's all right. It's all right. He bought my album. That's all.
That is true.
I appreciate it. I appreciate the kindness. It's just so freaking cool, man.
Oh, man. Awesome person, man. Thank you. And
that's just a guy that just likes to give him money. That's so cool.
Shoot, oh, wait, I can go to my history. Ha. Which cover was it? It was amazing. To the history. It was... Do I really have to full screen that? Oh, there we go. Needless. That's what it was for your Sumerian audition.
Oh, yeah, man. That's not... I mean, I guess that's a cover, but not really.
Is it, did you write that?
Like, it's not my instrumental, but I wrote, like, the vocals.
Okay.
But, yeah, oh, man, they did me dirty with that one.
Oh, really?
Yes, freaking Sumerian Records. I got things to say about them, but I don't want to throw them under the bus.
No, understandable. You're not the only one, actually.
I won't bitch about them because I don't know them, but I'm just going to throw this out and present it as a situation to get your opinion on it. So imagine you're this record company, right? Mm-hmm. And you're like, hey, I'm going to do this thing to like interact with the fans. Let's have a secret instrumental project and look online for a vocalist. So let's have a contest and give out this instrumental, have people write over it and upload their videos, and then we'll pick the best one and have them be the vocalist of the band, right?
Okay.
So imagine, just hypothetically speaking, imagine that's what's going on, right? And then they pick their winner, and afterward they copyright the instrumental, release it on an album, and then everyone who entered the contest and wrote and got hundreds of thousands of views no longer is allowed to monetize that because they don't own the rights to the song anymore, even though it's half of it is their vocals. Because I don't know if you know how like royalties work with like in the music industry, but the person who writes the instrumental gets about 50%, and the person who writes the lyrics and vocals gets another 50%. So they're taking 100% of the copyright because it's their instrumental, but they're also making money off of my lyrics and my vocals now for every view that I get. Hypothetically, of course.
I mean, that
He just gave you another $50!
Holy crap. You're actually seeing it before I am. How
Oh,
is that?
I've got it on my other monitor, so I just see it. Boom.
No,
He
same
says,
here.
"So glad someone didn't sign you, man. I've some design work for them, Victory, and other some is by far the worst people I've ever." Oh yeah, no,
Ah,
I'm a Tala got signed to Earache, and they're awesome. I don't really have anything bad to say about Earache, but Sumerian Records. I mean, to be fair, hypothetically, this hypothetical thing that happened that I was telling you about, they hypothetically I technically did not enter the contest because they had rules and I deliberately broke the rules. Like they were like, you can't scream. And I was like, I'm gonna scream. I'm the guy who screams on YouTube. You can't tell me not to scream in a song.
oh man, that's
Hypothetical, allegedly.
that's silly though. Don't be you whenever you do this vocal cover, or whenever you do
Oh,
this not
dude, and
vocal
it's
cover, but
weird. This
yeah.
is something that happens on YouTube a while. So I brought this up to Jared Dines. I don't know if you know who he
Oh
is.
yeah, absolutely.
So I did that vocal contest with him, the one where I wrote that song like Ghost Feet back in 2015, I think it
Yeah.
was. And it's got like 500K views on his channel, right?
Mhm.
So I'm like, yo, like that's awesome. I was checking out how many views it had and like reading some of the comments on it because I was like, man, like I don't have no idea what people even think about this as the contest, right? So
Yeah.
I'm like, what do people think? And I noticed that it's copyright claimed by someone who's not Jared Dines. So I click on the copyright claim. It gives me this person's name. I put in that name on YouTube, find their album. They wrote a song. It kind of the same situation I was just describing with the
Yeah.
Sumerian Records hypothetical situation.
Mhm.
This situation isn't hypothetical. So Jared, he put that instrumental out there, right? So that people
Yeah.
could write and be part of this contest. He did not monetize it. He didn't make it like a copyright thing. Somebody who then wrote over the instrumental, uploaded it to 1RPM, which is like a music distributor, and I use 1RPM. They're great. But
Ah, gotcha. Yeah.
they uploaded it and copyrighted it. So now, because it's the reverse thing of Sumeria, the 1RPM is going around claiming the rights to anybody who used Jared's instrumental, which he did not like put out there and monetize. And like he wrote the instrumental, but now this guy who uploaded his to 1RPM is now getting the right monetization rights of anybody who did a cover of my song or anything like that. So it's like, it's interesting how they get away with that. And I notified Jared about it, and he was just like, "Oh, he's like, whatever, man. Like, I got bigger fish to fry." So I respect that mentality, but I was still like, it's still wrong of this dude. Like, I'm pretty sure you could sue the crap out of him because he
Absolutely.
claimed the copyright on something that isn't his.
No
But
joke.
again, it's like the same thing I was just talking about. Like he did write lyrics over it, so you'd think it's 50%. But that's why I can't be too mad at Sumerian, because I'm like, all right, imagine I took the instrumental for Master of Puppets and wrote my own vocals over it. Like, I
Right.
don't get 50% of those rights. It doesn't work that way.
Well, what Sumerians should have done, honestly, is not make that contest instrumental into a song. They should have wrote a new song.
They should have, but they
That's
didn't.
really what should have happened. And to me, that's silly. And they could have claimed 50% on all of it, on everyone's cover, and then just never release that as a song on an album. So
Yeah,
they kind of make you all, it's not just about the money. They kind of make you all look like you stole their song, because somebody who comes across that years later, they're going to be like, wait a minute, this dude just, what is this? These are different lyrics on their song. What is this?
exactly.
That just
So
makes
it's like it's
everyone look
weird.
bad.
It
That's
makes them
silly.
look bad, and it's also so the first time it happened, I was like, "Oh, what is this?" Like, I'm just gonna fight it because it's a copyright thing on something that should have been mine. So
Right.
I said I was like, I should at least get shared revenue for this because it's not my instrumental, but it is my voice and my vocals and my performance, my lyrics. Like half of this is mine, the other half is Sumerians. And they sent me a thing that was like, if you don't retract your copyright claim, your channel is going to get a copyright strike. And then I was
Yeah.
just like, all right, take it. Like, I don't want a copyright strike.
Right.
And then
No
I was just
joke.
like, I'm just going to do you dirty in the comments and in the description and let everybody know you guys are allegedly pieces of garbage for doing that.
Oh, man, that
So
is
I lost respect for Sumerian after that. Hypothetically.
absolutely. Well, that's the thing, too, is
Hypothetically.
I've heard a lot about Sumerian Records. A lot. And there are a lot of bands who part ways with, when they do part ways with Sumerian, I do hear a lot of because sometimes they have NDAs, other bands have NDAs and stuff as to why they left, and they can't mention it, but they were like, I would never go back.
Yeah. I mean, again, I don't want to talk crap about them because I'm sure they had their reasons. And I'm like, I get it. Like, from a certain perspective, it does make sense. But I definitely think they could have done it like a better way. Like you said, like they could
Yeah.
have done a shared revenue thing, or they could have just not used that song on an album. Or they even could have announced, like, hey, after this is over, we will be, claiming the rights to the song and putting it on an album. And I would just, people probably would have taken the situation differently. It was more that,
Exactly.
like, it was a surprise.
Yeah, and
That's what kind of did it.
that's so dirty. That's so incredibly dirty for them to do. Like, they could have at least just, yes, hypothetically, they could have just told you guys. That would have been so much easier.
It would have been easier, and I wouldn't have had a problem with it if they were just like, hey, like, this is the, like, email the people who entered the contest. I know it's a
Right.
lot of people, but at least the people who got like tons of views, because I know that other guy who got the most views, Andy Kizek. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but that guy, he got a crap ton of views. His was so good, and they did the same thing to him. So he actually went and took his vocals and reinvented the instrumental in the same key, but it's a different instrumental,
Nice.
so that he could get views off of his, like, now it's his song.
That's
So
super
I thought
cool.
that was really cool. So there's definitely, like, ways around it, but it was still like, why didn't you like just say something? Why are you guys being shady about it?
No joke. And at the end of their contest, like, I take it they uploaded a video to YouTube as to who won the contest.
Yeah, and the guy who won had like the third most views. Like, it was Andy, me, and then this dude. And this dude, he did a great job. He's a great vocalist, but it was still like I remember when I got the notification that my video had been like demonetized and copyright claimed. I was like, what the heck? And then I was like, who's, like, the band was called In Motive. I was like, who's In Motive? And then I clicked it and I was like, okay, so this is the guy who won. Why is he copyright claiming my video? Like, these aren't your lyrics. These aren't your vocals. So it was just weird.
That is strange. It
was a weird situation.
At the very least, they could have at least announced it in the video that they were going to do that.
Yeah, like, I honestly, like, I'm not mad that they did it. I'm mad about the way they did it, allegedly.
Yeah.
But I'm just like you guys could have just went about it a totally different way. But I get it. Like, the music industry is weird and it works a certain way, and like, you have to get used to it. There's not really much you can do about it, but it's still, like, awful.
Absolutely, it is.
But you see the same type of corruption, like, all over the place. Like, I remember. So I don't want to talk crap about YouTube. But
I do.
I remember it was back in September 2019. I opened up a ticket with YouTube to let them know that the auto-generated playlists for Hungry Lights included videos that were not the official album, like Hungry Lights topic videos.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey guys, like, I've been getting complaints from my fans who want to listen to my albums on YouTube using, those specific playlists. Like, the vocal video versions are in there, and then there are other people who are uploading stuff where it's like the Hungry Lights version of the song playing alongside the Amneon version of the song, and that's in the official Hungry Lights playlist, which I can't control. So I was like, can you guys, like, fix that? So it is now July 2020, and they just keep emailing me. There's like 30 of them that's like, hey, Justin, just letting you know, we're still taking care of the situation. And I'm just like, all right. I provided them. I spent 3 hours. I provided every single link that needed to be replaced and the link that it should be replaced with. I provided screenshots and everything, and they still haven't been able to do it. And then, like, 2 months ago, they emailed me and were like, hey, could you maybe send us some links and some screenshots of which ones that need to be replaced? And I was just like, I did that already. So I just, like, forwarded the email again, and I was like, hey, I did this like 7, 8, I don't know how many months ago. I've been waiting for a long time, but I also don't want to, like, get on YouTube's bad side. So I'm like, I understand that I'm not like a huge YouTuber and I'm not making you guys a lot of money, but I've been very patient with this. Like, can you just, how hard is it to have somebody manually put the right videos in the playlist?
Exactly. I mean, that's hilarious and silly. That just goes to show YouTube's priorities.
It shows their priorities, and it kind of shows their incompetence.
That too. I mean, it's not something that should have been difficult to fix at all.
It's not. It's 4 playlists, and even now, like they're like, "Yo," they emailed me like a month ago, and they're like, "Have we fixed the problem yet?" And I went and checked the playlist, and I was like, "No, there are still a bunch of them that are wrong. How are you not getting this? Like, how is this difficult?"
I probably would have been a little snarky, and I would have just sent back, "I don't know. Have you? Did you do it?"
It's blowing my mind. I'm like, even if someone wasn't a fan, you should be able to open the playlist and say, album cover, album cover, album cover, video of somebody's face, album cover, album. It's like, that's the one that doesn't belong. Put the right one. I gave you the links. What are you doing, man? So I'm just like, all right, whatever. Like, this is just how the industry works. This is how YouTube works and how labels work. And I'm just, okay, whatever.
Oh man, that is, yeah. YouTube, they really talk about how hard they're making their community better and focusing all this stuff on it, and then you see like the actual like technical side where they don't really do their job much, and it's like, are you really sure that you're actually trying to make YouTube a better, safe place? Or are you just typing in a list of rules and you're just watching for people, waiting for them to break the rules?
They're definitely not trying to make it a better say. Hold on. I'm curious now. Let me just go on YouTube and just click. What's trending right now?
Oh God, I've looked at that once before and I regretted it.
Let me see. Let's see.
Question,
The Boys season 2.
The what?
Let's do Dixie D'Amallo, Be Happy, behind the scenes. All right, so let's go to the YouTube comments section. How many people are being jerks in it immediately?
Well, let's find out.
Let's see. I already see a bunch of troll comments. Like, you're not making the community better. It's like the YouTube comment section is more it's like as toxic as like the League of Legends all chat. Like, it's just
pretty much, yes.
It's
absolutely
so bad. It's just people making memes and like fighting with each other.
Some of them are being weird too.
Most of them are jokes.
A lot of these comments too are like some people really into the show. And I'm just like, what even is this show? And they're just like, Dixie is my favorite person ever. And it's just like, okay. I just woke up, has mascara on. Oh, that's kind of funny. They're pointing out some of the actors in there.
Like, it's all jokes. And
pretty much, people, yeah, I see that.
Like, I'm just like, this isn't, none of these comments are helpful. How are you making the community better, YouTube?
I had new comments on it first, and then I switched it to top comments, and it's like, oh, there it is.
Oh, it's a different story once you switch it to top comments.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah, they got some weird. Oh, taking a pregnancy test again is one of the videos trending, and this girl looks like she's 9.
Oh. All right, so that's when you start going down the YouTube hole. I don't want to go down that YouTube hole.
I'm just gonna
Closing out. 9.
Let's see. I'm gonna crunch some numbers together. 9 pregnancy test. PewDiePie fan.
Oh. No, I don't.
No, I think he said his fans
being pregnant.
I think he's upgraded his fans to 13-year-olds now.
That's because all the 9-year-olds grew up a little bit.
Yeah. It's he has some running joke going on to where he's like, all my fans are 9. Then he goes, I'm giving them the pass to where they can officially call themselves 13 now.
So they're not 9.
Right. It's I
don't know. I'm not a fan of PewDiePie, but I don't have any problems with him. I'm a little too old for PewDiePie.
Actually, he does a lot of kind of commentary on politics now.
There's one video I watched and he made me smile. So I'm not going to say I dislike him. I'm just not a fan, but it's not like in a negative context where I'm like, no, man, I'm not a fan of that. It's like, no, like I'm totally neutral with PewDiePie. But it was that video he did when it was that race to however many subs. It was between him and that like weird channel.
Oh, that Indian channel.
Yeah.
Shoot, what are they called? I almost called him Tencent. Wow.
But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That video he made, the music video where he was like saying congratulations to them, even though it wasn't over yet, I cracked up at his video. I was like, all right, PewDiePie's funny. I get it.
Was it Bitch Lasagna? Was that the song?
I don't think so. I think it was just like congratulations to whoever it is,
I
and
don't
it
know
was
if I
just a
watched that
video
one.
of him. I don't even. It might still be there. Cutie. I'm about to look him up. 105 million. That's insane.
Yeah, he is. I don't even know what I would do with that amount of subscribers.
Imagine how much
I would
money this
retire.
guy must make.
No joke. Like, if he gets just $1,
2.5 million views on a video he uploaded 12 hours ago.
yeah. If he just gets $1 a month off of 10% of his subscribers, he's making over $1 million a month. That's just 10%. That's about the average.
Yeah, that's not even. Oh, this is what it was. It was just called congratulations.
Okay.
It's the second most viewed video on his channel. Bitch Lasagna is number one.
Ah, okay.
Number one. So it's number two. But yeah, it was just like congratulations to whatever that thing was. But it's just this. Oh my god, it was so funny.
I'm gonna have to watch that one next. I'm gonna put that on my little.
It's really funny because it's like he's congratulating them for winning, even though the contest was like, or not the contest, but like the race wasn't over yet. They hadn't actually won yet. But he just makes this video congratulating them, and you can just see how salty he is in it, even though he's like, yeah, like, good job, you guys. But like deep inside, you can just see him like, I fucking hate you.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it was. T-Series.
T-Series,
Yeah.
yep.
And what's interesting though is T-Series, they beat him because they have a bunch of bots apparently, and it's not just one channel. It's like a bunch of channels combined, I guess, or something like that. Yeah.
So stupid.
So it's not even, they didn't even legitimately really win, I guess you could say. I think it's silly, but what's crazy is there's two videos. If you just type in congratulations in YouTube, two videos come up. The first one is Post Malone's congratulations, and then PewDiePie's is under that. And it's crazy the difference in views, actually. Post Malone.
Let me look.
Yeah, I'll just let you look at it because this will blow your mind.
So it's just type in congratulations?
Yes.
Whoa! Post Malone destroyed him.
1.2
billion. That's, wow.
That's a lot of views.
That's too many views.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Jeez.
That's crazy. I don't know very
I'm
many
really
people
curious,
that had
what
that.
is the most viewed music video on YouTube?
I believe it was Baby by Justin Bieber.
No freaking way.
And it has the most dislikes on it of any other YouTube video, but I think YouTube's Rewind 2019 got more dislikes.
2.2 billion. So congratulations is actually catching up.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, but look at the dislikes on that video.
11 million dislikes. Jeez. I don't even think the song's that bad. It's really catchy.
What's really funny, okay, I do remember this. How many likes does that video have?
13 million.
Okay.
So it's almost 50-50.
So it used to have way more dislikes than likes, but people started undisliking it to make the YouTube Rewind more disliked.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that was actually...
I'm in favor of that.
It was hilarious. I think the YouTube Rewind is the most disliked video on the platform. And imagine being YouTube.
Wait. Hold on. I found Ed Sheeran, The Shape of You, 4.8 billion.
Oh, really? That's not surprising. I hear that song every day, just about somewhere. In stores, in all sorts of different places.
That one's... Oh, you know what? I'm just going to Google. What is the most viewed music video on YouTube? Despacito?
Oh, that's a Justin Bieber song.
Let's look it up.
Although every time I see it, it reminds me of...
Oh, no. Wait, who?
It's
Louis Fonsi.
Huh, I don't know who that is.
Justin Bieber has a song called it as well, but this is different.
Oh,
it has 6.8 billion.
So that. I think he does a collaboration with him.
Oh, so Justin Biebs is in this?
I think so.
It's pretty catchy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's in Spanish.
Huh.
This is so funny. I don't think Biebs is in this. It's two Spanish guys.
Really?
Why is this the most viewed? Is this guy like the new Ricky Martin?
That's a good question.
This is really catchy. And it came out 3 years ago.
Huh.
Honestly, the song's pretty cool. I'm skipping through it. They
Yeah,
hit
check
they
it
hit
out
every
then.
they hit every stop. Like it's got the do. But then it's also got this like really like simple chord progression, pretty girls dancing, dude singing in Spanish on a beach. It's got everything. Well, congratulations to this guy.
No joke. That's a lot of views. Holy crap.
Oh my god. Top comment. Who just came to check out the views?
Yeah. Wow.
And then all
That's-
the other ones are just in Spanish.
That's not surprising at all. That's hilarious. Who came to check
And
out the
people
views.
like it. 38 million likes, 4.5 million dislikes.
Wow.
So way more likes.
I wonder what causes something like that. Something so
Yeah.
not terrible sounding to get dislikes like that.
I wonder why this song is so popular.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just something trendy. I mean, it's not a song that breaks anything. It's not like, there's a lot of this that hasn't been done before, but it's just a lot of things kind of smushed together to make its own song, it seems. Like, a bunch of styles kind of that have been done before smushed together, and that's kind of how modern music, well, mainstream music, not modern music. Mainstream music is done these days. They find something super catchy and they run with it.
Oh my gosh. 3 million comments.
That is a lot of comments. Why would you find the need to comment on that?
I don't know. I'm about to comment on it right now. I'm going to say nice.
Yeah.
I've contributed.
Nice. I may
Well-
have to do that later as well.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just that I don't. Yeah, it makes sense though. People love Spanish or Latino music, whatever. What is that genre? Reggaeton. People love that.
Reggaeton?
Is that the do, and then people just sing over it?
Huh.
Macchiato agua.
Reggaeton. Is it really called that?
Is it? Let's look it up.
I was gonna say, I think that's an Italian noodle.
No, that's reggaeton.
Reggaetoni, okay.
Reggaeton 2020 mix. Let's look. Yeah, this is it. It's got the la 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 la.
So
Like they're all like people singing and rapping in Spanish over.
So if they got like some people from the mafia to like do that style of music, would they actually call it rigatoni?
Maybe.
I mean, I would.
Dude, so you know what's crazy about the mafia? I don't know if this is 100% true, but a friend of mine told me that one of the things the mafia does now is like steal beaches.
That's not surprising. I mean, everyone's played Grand Theft Auto, I think. Pretty
It's
much.
just weird.
Yeah, that what I would imagine happens probably is people usually have to pay a fare to get onto the beach. Like they pay $8 or something like that. I wonder if they hijack like, hey, I know that this is your family's owned land, but we're gonna take this from you, or we're gonna, do something.
No, like the way that this person was describing it to me sounds like they have people literally like steal like sand off these beaches.
Steal sand.
And I forget what they're using it for, but they're like apparently there's something about sand, beach sand specifically, where you can't use like desert sand to get whatever they're trying to get out of it and use it for. It has to be beach sand. So the mafia is apparently like stealing beach sand. So like they're like stealing beaches and then like selling it to whatever this thing is. I wish it was online right now so I could talk about it. But oh my gosh, I was just like I don't know if it's true. It could be another alleged thing, but I'm just like stealing beaches.
That
But
seems interesting.
Yeah, it's weird.
Well, what would be really funny is if they remake the video, the part in Scarface, and instead of it all being bags of cocaine, it's just all bag of beach sand.
Just bags of sand. That'd be pretty funny.
Just redo the whole scene in that. That'd be That'd be a good way to go out.
That would be a great way. Oh, yeah, but I think you feel like you die if you snorted too much sand.
Same with cocaine.
But you know, like, because what does sand do?
Hurts
Like,
like
so
a
you
motherfucker.
snort the cocaine, it's like a drug, right? So if you snort the sand, like, aren't you just breathing sand into your nose? Like, aren't you just gonna like suffocate yourself?
That's a good
You think I
question.
could? You think I could Google that? What happens
Yeah.
if you snort sand?
I'm sure some stupid kid has tried it.
It's not even like on Google. Snorting sand, is it bad? Yahoo answer.
Is it bad? Whoever asked that needs slapped.
This guy just says, getting sand lodged in your sinuses would be uncomfortable and unhealthy, but I'm a bit confused. Can you not avoid snorting sand?
What? Yes, of course you can. You just don't do it.
I'm done. I'm done looking things up.
That's awesome. Well, shoot. Here, I'm gonna see if I can't share my screen real quick. Let's see if I can. Wait. Application window. What's it? Ah, here we go. This will probably make it a little easier on you here. Did it work? Are you seeing this? Wait, just
I still see you right now.
very weird. I'm clicking on it. Huh. Okay. So, application. Oh, maybe I need to full screen this and then. Ah, that's why it didn't do it. Okay. There we go.
Oh yeah, now I see it. All right.
Okay. So this is going to be something interesting. I figured we'd jump on. Have you heard of? I'm sure you know Satchel from Steel Panther.
I've actually never listened to Steel Panther.
Oh, you've never listened to Steel Panther? Oh man.
No. So this is news to me.
So this will probably interest you quite a bit. Steel Panther is a parody band. They're a parody 80s metal band, and they just talk about like really
Are they from the
gruesome
80s
stuff.
or are they from today?
No, they're from today. But they do
they're
the 80s really
parodying
well.
That's hilarious.
Yes. And it's very, very overtly sexual. Like, what is one of the songs? It's like talking about how he got herpes from a chick or something like that. And they have Death to All But Metal featuring actually Sarah Silverman's in the video. And it's really funny. They have a lot of hilarious... they got a lot of hilarious punny songs.
Oh, these guys sound like they're right up my alley for sure.
Absolutely. They are great. This,
Oh my god.
this is a pedal
So
he
wait, what
released.
was the other one? The butthole something, and now he's got the
Butthole
pussy
Burner.
melter?
So
The butthole burner and the pussy melter.
So the Pussy Melter was first. And all of this, how the pedal works, it's a distortion pedal. You can get your dirty, your load, your booty, and your sizzle. So it's supposed to make you gush, is the whole quote of it. This pedal ended up causing so much controversy. Reverb, you know who they are?
Like Reverb Nation?
No, Reverb is a website, kind of like Craigslist, I guess you could say, or eBay. And
I've
it's
never heard
all...
of them.
Oh, it's... I wouldn't use them today, but man, back in the day, they were fantastic. All used gear and stuff that you could buy. All for musicians. Now, the Pussy Melter, they immediately banned it and said it was incredibly sexist.
But it's, come on, it's funny.
Exactly. But the worst part about it is they were still selling, what's his name? Marty Friedman's amps. Or is it Marty Friedman? Well, Friedman amps. I don't know if it's necessarily Marty Friedman himself, but Friedman amps, they have the Pink Taco and the Brown Eye. They were still selling those. But when it came to Satchel, they just immediately equated him as a sexist person, which he technically, his character is very sexist, but it's a character he's playing. It's not really him. And he ended up coming out with the Pussy Melter, and they banned it. Shortly after that, Glenn Fricker, you know who that is, right?
No.
SMG, Spectre Sound Studios. He's the angry guy with the long curly hair.
Oh, wait!
Yeah.
He plays guitar, right?
He doesn't. He kind of plays guitar. He's mostly
Spectre Sounds.
He does the stupid musician texts, stuff like that. He shows people how to.
I might be thinking of. Oh, okay. This is the guy I was thinking of. I thought, does he play? Yeah, he plays guitar a little bit, but not really.
Yeah.
Okay. I've only watched his guitar videos and his video of people who cut the mic.
Yes, exactly him. So he ended up.
He's kind of funny.
He's actually buddies with these guys and has interviewed them a couple times. He ended up coming out with his own pedal called the Cockblocker Noise Gate.
These guys are way too clever.
So they ended up, after all that, he ended up coming out just a few days ago with his new pedal called the Butthole Burner.
Hot and spicy overdrive. Oh my
Hot and spicy overdrive. And it has gasoline, lava flow, jalapeno low, and wasabi high.
Yikes.
Now you can see what those peppers look like.
They kind of look like,
What's a good way?
Oh, they look like bobsleds.
Yeah. Cheddar peckers.
Or maybe they look like little like astronauts, like little Astro Boys taking off.
Exactly. So it's let's
be honest, they look like dicks.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But
Big,
I'm just trying to be that guy.
He ended up doing this pedal pretty much to be like, okay, well, what if I go the other direction? Will it then be okay? So,
and was it okay?
Actually, that's a good question. It just came out.
Okay.
But I imagine that they will be fine with it because it involves males. And you can't be sexist to males.
Oh, of course not. It doesn't go that way.
Exactly.
You can't be sexist to men because they don't have boobs and vaginas.
Exactly. And by God, if you mention anything about abuse, then you're just not manly enough.
Oh man, I have a friend. I won't name his name, but he's one of those people who you can see. Is it called a double standard? When
Yes.
it's okay for one, you can see the double standard when he tells people about what happened to him, because he did have this girlfriend who I won't say the word, but she it rhymes with grape. She graped him, and like he has had troubles with relationships ever since.
Yeah.
And the double standard is there. Most people are like, dude, is you're friggin' like you're a guy, like what are you a friggin' how do you get graped by a girl? And it's just like, well, I'd imagine if you like, it's definitely possible. Like, it's not he's a really nice guy. So I'd imagine if he's with this girl and he maybe doesn't want to be with her anymore, but he doesn't know how to tell her like that they're breaking up, doesn't know how to say no, and just like it just happens, and he just sits there and allows it to happen because he has this very passive sort of like, people walk all over me personality. It just makes sense that a very aggressive girl would be able to take advantage of that psychologically and abuse him. But on the outside, it's like people just kind of make fun of it. They're like, come on, you weren't graped. But it's like, no, like he's kind of messed up because of it.
Right. And she could have had a weapon
his trauma
too.
not the same? She could have had a weapon. Who knows? Or imagine like if what if she had like STDs or something like that?
Exactly that too. I mean, it's terrifying, and people don't realize, as much stronger as the average man is than the average woman, a knife will still go through your skin just as easily as a woman as it will a man, or a bullet.
Yeah, there's definitely, it's one of those things like where the double standard is there. I'm not gonna sit there and because I've obviously, well, not obviously, but I've never had a situation with that sort of sexual trauma. So obviously I sympathize for him because he's my friend, but I'm also like, even when he first told me about it, I was like my first instinct was just like, what? Like I almost didn't believe him. And then when I thought about it, I was like, all right, that was a little messed up of me because he's being serious right now. And the first thing I did was dismiss what he was telling me because I was like, guys don't get like that. A guy could do that to another guy, but a girl doing it to a guy just seems weird. But then when you think about it, you're like, no, it's definitely possible. It can happen. So the double standard is totally there.
Absolutely, it is. It's sad to hear about too. And then, of course, people do make fun of it.
Yeah.
And I can understand the first initial reaction being like, what? And then after he explains it and stuff, be like, at least try to understand it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because like I said, my first instinct, I'm just like, oh, he's like messing with me. I was like, what are you talking about?
Right.
But it's like all of a sudden he keeps going, and then I was like, oh, like I should probably like he's being serious right now. I should probably listen.
Exactly.
And it's just like, but it's like you get the same thing with those the teachers who have sex with their students. And whenever like the guy teacher does it to the girl student, like
Right.
he gets expelled and everyone's like, oh, screw that guy. But then the girl student does it to the guy, or the girl teacher does it to the guy student, and everyone's like, nice, dude. Like,
exactly.
Nice.
And that's
it's
what's,
like,
what's interesting to me. Because it's like, usually both of those instances are consensual. Most of the time. Most of the time it's not like a forced perspective, but and I do have that bias as well. Like if I hear about a male teacher, I'm like, oh, he took advantage of her. And then whenever I hear the young student, I'm just like, man, what a lucky son of a bitch. No,
yeah,
you
like
know what I mean?
And like even if it's innocent, it's like, okay, but it's still there. Like
Right.
It's happened, and then when you heard about it, it's like your first instinct was to just be like, oh, dude, wow.
Exactly. But in
It's
reality,
just interesting.
It's all wrong, And if anybody,
it's all wrong. It's like a gun is a gun, but it's like one of those things where people are like, they don't view it that way. Like
Right.
they view it as like a gun in the hands of a man is not the same as a gun in the hands of a woman. It's like, okay, but it does the same thing.
Exactly. And the funny thing about it is if you really do break it down and think about it, believe it or not, the male student that's 16 years old is technically being more taken advantage of than the 16-year-old girl, just because of the fact that women mature faster and their brains develop quicker. They can make more rational decisions at that age than men can.
You definitely have a point there.
Exactly. And, that's kind of the interesting thing that we look at it the opposite way. But in reality,
it's weird.
Girls just mature faster.
It's definitely weird.
It is.
It's weird, but it's also one of those things where we live in friggin', it's one of those things. So it's like, I'm on your podcast, I'm hanging out, right? And it's like, usually, I'm hanging out with my friends. I'll make certain jokes, I'll crack certain, make certain comments. And I'm just like, but when it's going to be on the internet because of cancel culture, you're just like, you have to think about everything you say now. You're like, oh man, like, how do I address my opinion on this without somebody taking this and taking it out of context and making me look like the biggest like scumbag on the earth? And I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I don't like that YouTube and other things have come to this where it's like people think it's fun to destroy somebody's life.
Well, see, that's actually interesting. That happened to me in my last video, or not my last video, but in my video the other day.
What happened?
So, you ever heard of a guy named Sky Williams?
Sky Williams? I don't think so.
So, Sky Williams is this famous Twitch player. He plays like League of Legends and Super Smash Bros.
Okay.
And what he ended up having, he's like our age. And he ends up he's making so much money, he has a couple rental houses. I'm not entirely sure where. But apparently he was allowing people underage to come to those houses. And they were quote-unquote gamer houses. He would allow...
houses?
Yeah, like
well,
they would all have
that
Smash
already
Bros.
sounds
tournaments.
like a weird situation.
Well, he was feeding them like alcohol and things like that.
Ugh, yeah, no.
Right. And he's admitted to most of that. And he's admitted to some other things that really aren't as important. He treated his tenants like crap, threatening to break their stuff if they broke the rules or something like that. And he would extort them for money. He'd be like, if you all don't pay me $350, I'm gonna come and break all your stuff. And if I feel I can't take you in a fight, I'll have the cops remove you. And it's like,
he does not sound like a very pleasant person.
I would say not. And he there's a lot of sexual assault allegations that have happened to minors. And he's distancing himself from it, but he says, I didn't know that was happening in my houses. And it's like, wait, houses? You're the owner, and it's happened in multiple houses, and the only connection between those houses is you? And it happened in all of them?
Like an error in his decision making right there.
Right. And
Like,
that's
even if he wants to be ignorant about it, it's like, dude, why are you're allowing minors in most of your houses? Like, shouldn't their parents be there?
Well, that too. That is another issue as well. The parents should have stopped him, but he never should have allowed people in the door without showing an ID at a party like that. I mean, he's technically running, I guess you could almost say, like a club or a nightclub.
Yeah, it's like a gamer club almost.
Exactly. So he should have IDs and stuff like that in there. Mm-hmm. But he ended up, so when I made the video, it's a 16-minute video, and I don't really get to the point until the 9-minute mark. To me, I thought it would be fun to kind of do some research along, like, with the audience. I guess it was a bad thing. A lot of people got really, really mad, and were like,
"At you?"
Oh yeah, they were mad at me because they were like, this is all clickbait. You never get to the point." And I'm like, I actually do get to the point. I promise. It's not clickbait. I just take a while to get to there. And yeah, it was a lot of essentially people calling me names, and then I was like, okay, well, go F yourself, and it evolved into that in the comments section.
Oh, of course. And if you do that, there's a double standard there.
There
All the fans are allowed to talk crap, but you're the guy with the camera. You're the guy on the internet. So if you talk crap back, nope, you can't do that.
I legit have a guy say that exact thing to me. Unironically, he's like, you are not allowed to talk to me this way. And I was like, why not? And he goes, because you're supposed to be professional. And I was like, why can't you be professional? He goes, I don't have to be. And I was like, well, shit, this is my channel. I don't have to be either. I was like, why do I have to be? And he goes, well, you're never going to make it. And I was like, okay, well, what if I don't? I'm just having fun. And he's like, well, that's a stupid comment. And I'm just like, okay. So it is a stupid comment. I don't know. It's really silly. But I say a lot of things on there, too, where I'm just like, okay, well, here's what the video is about, and this is where I do it. And people were like, why are you being so defensive? And I was like, oh, I'm not. I'm just telling you where it is in the video. And they're like, why are you crying? And I'm just like, I'm just telling you. And what it is it's a barrier between text. If they heard me speak to them exactly what it is I was saying, they would understand I'm not being hostile and all that. I'm just explaining to them. But through text, they automatically have this filter of me going, this is what my video's about, and slamming my fist down on the keyboard. And I'm like, no, I'm legit not doing it.
It's their own insecurities.
Exactly.
That's something I realize, like, all the years of YouTube. It's like, it's the way you type, when you're very straightforward, you might make them feel stupid, and their own insecurities makes them see like a reflection of themselves. So they're like, I'm mad, so that means he's mad typing back. And it's just like, that's not how it works.
Right. And I actually did worry about that on one of your videos, believe it or not. And it was the whole trap thing. Whenever I commented,
that's why after that I was like, I don't really type back to people in the comments anymore, because people were I'm just like sitting there and people were like, I can't believe you made this video, blah blah blah, and I'm like, I like Trapped, and they're like, yeah, but the singer's a douchebag and blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, but I like Trapped.
Right. And whenever I made the comment, I actually thought I had irritated you. Whenever I was like, oh, hey, this is what happened. You were like, well, you were like, I don't care about any of that. I actually like Trapped. And I was like, oh, that's fine.
Because I don't. I like Trapped.
Yeah, exactly. But I was like, oh, shoot. I was like, did I piss him off? I was like, I didn't mean to do that. And I was like, oh, no, I'm sorry, man. I was like, I was just explaining this scenario. And then you were like, no, it's all good. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. But I took it the wrong way, and I bet you didn't even mean it that way.
I didn't even realize, like, I'm just like, I don't know, man. It's just, I prefer, whenever I have to have a serious conversation with somebody, I prefer to just call them. Because I'm just like, so many times, even with my own band or like my family members,
right?
People are like, why are you being a douchebag? And I'm like, I'm not.
Exactly. It's like, here, just answer the phone real quick. And that's why I hate texting.
Just trying to talk. It's awful. It's so awful, man.
Absolutely.
But legit, that's why I really like, I read the comments like once a week. Because that's my thing. I'm like, I let them build up every week, and then on that one day, I'll go read through everything. I'll heart some of the ones that make me laugh. I'll delete the spam ones, and or the ones where it's like on my cover channel, people are like, hey, do a cover of this, and I'm just like, all right, well, I said like in 3 different places I don't do requests, so I'll delete those.
Right.
But I'm like, I'll go through, and then like if someone talks shit, I just let them talk shit. If somebody's like genuinely confused about something, I might reply. Every once in a while, I might say something snarky just to be funny. Like if people are like, why are your nails red? I'll just be like, oh, it's the blood of people who leave useless comments.
Oh man, that's no joke. I'd be like, it's the blood of Christ.
It's people just get upset. Like, why are you wearing a sweater vest in your video? Like one time, most of the time I just ignore it. Sometimes I'm joking. I'm like, oh yeah, I just got back from like Bible camp and I just decided to sing this song. Other times I'll tell them why. I'm like, yeah, I wear a sweater vest because it gets me more views. People are like, this dude in a sweater vest is going to sing Lamb of God. No, he's not. And then they click on it. I'm like, it served its purpose. Why do you care for wearing a sweater vest?
Exactly. I would tell people, I'd be like, oh, this is my lucky get laid sweater vest.
This is my lucky vest.
I never wash it, and I wear it during. Every time. Yeah.
Oh, dude, people. Tala recently re-released our song for our music video for We the Sad, but it's got the new mix, right?
Right.
And this happened. I'm not exaggerating it. Somebody left a comment that was like, I don't really know how I feel about this mix. I don't think Justin sang the chorus as powerfully as he did in the first version of it. And I was sitting there and I replied and I was just like, it's the same stems. Like, yeah. It's the exact same vocal track. We didn't do anything to it. He just like reamped the bass and EQ'd the guitars differently, and like Max's snare drum is an actual snare drum now, not a MIDI sample. Like everything's fixed. It's the same exact vocal track. And the guy was like, this is why I stopped following you, because you like to, it's like your fans can't have an opinion. It's like it's your way or no way. Like I personally feel like you didn't sing it as well. And I'm like, it's the same vocal track. That's a fact. It's not an opinion. You're wrong because you're saying the vocal track, I sang it, it's the same vocal track. It's just mixed different. I'm just like sitting there like, I legit told my band, I was like, guys, I can't talk to any of these people. You're on comment patrol. I just pieced out of the situation. I'm like, if that was the first comment I read and it triggered me. And I was just like, this is like, I know when I'm in a losing situation, I'm out.
That is absolutely hilarious though. Like that's when people who, you know for a fact, they don't make music. You know for a fact they don't make music because they don't understand how a stem works.
Even when I explained it, he was like, well, man, like, you're not allowing people to have an opinion. I'm just like, you said the old vocal track sounded better than the new vocal track. It's the same vocal track. Right. And I explained that to you and you still didn't get it.
Right. Exactly. I mean, that blows my mind, though. It's like, you understand that we can remix a song and not have to re-record it, right?
Nope, they don't understand that. And it does put things into perspective, because I try, whenever someone argues with me, I'm like, where are they coming from? So it's like, even if I put myself in their shoes, I'm like, okay, say I don't make music, say I don't know what a stem is, say I don't know anything. If the person tells me it's the exact same vocal track, I'm gonna know what that means.
Usually, you would think. I mean, I don't know. There are some people that are really into music, though. And this kind of, I don't know, it's foreign to me. They're very into music, but they have no idea how to play at all. And I don't know why that's a foreign thing to me, but whenever I've really gotten into music, like the first time I ever got into music, I was like, I'm learning. And I'm doing something. And I just knew a lot of people who did the same thing. And most people who I talk to that really aren't into music, or that don't know how to play an instrument, aren't really super that hardcore into music. Mm-hmm. So every now and then, like, I don't have any personal friends that are super hardcore into music but don't play an instrument. But I know a few people who do, because I had some incidents at a Black Label Society concert where they would, well, first of all, this probably wasn't entirely his fault. He was super drunk. He kept grinding on me because he thought I was a chick, and every time I would turn around, he'd get super pissed off. Because he was like,
So
he thought I was coming on to him when I would turn around. But when I was facing the stage and he was grinding up on me, he was like, "Oh yeah," and it's just
Wait,
like
he kept forgetting you're like the same person.
he was blitzed. He was
Jeez,
blitzed.
man.
But he was like talking. So at first, before he was all blitzed, Children of Bodom came on the stage first. And then it was Black Label Society. So he was booing Children of Bodom before they even started. And as soon as they started, of course, he was still booing them and stuff. He's like, "Oh, this is pussy shit," just freaking out. Well, as in the middle of Zakk Wylde playing, like 2 hours later, he immediately just starts booing and goes, "Oh, get that idiot off the stage, get Zakk Wylde on." And it's just like, what?
All right, that's fine.
And so, yeah, it's not an exact same scenario of like someone, like, oh.
It kind of is.
But
it kind of is.
It was just amazing to me because I was like, are you this stupid? I was like, how do you not know that that's Zakk Wylde on stage playing?
Man, I don't know. Like, I know I'm not going to claim to be the most intelligent person in the world. I definitely am on the stupid chart. But it's like, it kind of proves my point more where I'm like, all right, if I think somebody is stupid, they must be really stupid.
I mean, you're a bit of a musical genius, so I mean, I can't say you're on a stupid chart.
I'm not a musical genius at all.
Man.
Everyone tries to tell me I am. I'm like, no, like literally, you take all my riffs, like the majority of my riffs are just Aeolian and Phrygian riffs. And it's just like, most of them are like D minor. That's my favorite key. That's my favorite everything. So I'm just like, I made a video in my old Discord before I deleted it where I was like, watch this. And it was like a 2-minute video, and I just sat there and played. I ran through 4 albums worth of Hungry Lights riffs, and it was all in the exact same spot. Because I was like, this is just, it's not musical genius. I just really like the sound of D. Aeolian.
Well, that sounds really good, but your vocals are on another level, though.
The vocals I can take credit for, but we could say a vocal genius, but not musical genius.
Well,
even then, it's just because I love, like I grew up mimicking everybody, so it's like I don't just sing. I'm a voice actor while singing.
You're a metal parrot.
Yes, exactly. I just copy everybody, and I'm like, all right. He did this, let's do that. But what would it sound like if Bugs Bunny did that? What would it sound like if Bugs Bunny on crack did that? And I just find different voices. The thing because I do vocal lessons now, and the thing that I tell my students, I'm like, so you've got your range, right? This is your vertical range. Like you got your lowest notes and your highest notes, and that's how most people think of their voice. I'm like, but now think about going this way. Now you've got this horizontal range where it's like, how many times can you go, ah? You could be like, ah. And then, the same note, you start expanding it. You can do that same note all these different ways, but then you've got your range this way. So it starts to turn it into a game of Battleship where you're like, all right, so what happens if I take B and 6 and put them together? And then you get like, and it's just like, whoa, that was a cool sound. So that's really all there is to it. It's just combining different sounds.
That is, I've never thought of it that way. That's actually a really cool way to think of that.
That's what I tell my students. I'm like, just start thinking about it as a grid instead of an actual, like, here's my vocal range. Even if you only had 1 octave, if you can go this way forever. Like, there are so many things you could do with 1 note. So that's where I think my genius starts to shine, because I'm just like, why would I just, rely on this when I have this going way further?
Absolutely. That is a really cool way to put that. I've never thought about that.
It's fun.
I may start trying to do something like that. Usually when I do, though, I'm alone in my car.
Well, funny enough, I got the concept from, because I did ninjutsu for 6 or 7 years. I actually forget which one. But my sensei used to say this thing about how, like, if you learn how to punch, just unscrew the fist and put, like, something else on it, You've got all these different things. It's the exact same execution, but all these different, heads on the arm. So I was like, you can do the same thing with vocals. You got the 1 note, but how many ways can you hit that note? And then I was like, whoa!
That is an awesome way to put that, though. It, I wonder if I could apply that to guitar as well.
You probably could.
That would be...
Oh, speaking of guitar, I gotta show you my new baby.
Ooh, yes, please.
Oh, man. Check this out. I just got it.
That's an American, isn't it?
It is a Fender Strat Professional. Yeah, American Professional. I think.
Very nice.
I got it. It was like 1,400. I don't have 1,400, so I'm doing like 250 a month or something like that. But it's only like 7 pounds. It was the lightest one, and I've never used like a single coil guitar for metal before, and I'm like in love with the sound. I'm like, this is so cool.
Oh man, that is
But
a sick
I figured
guitar.
you'd appreciate it. I was just like,
Absolutely.
oh, I've been playing it so much that I already have like the freaking pick dust under the strings. The strings already smell like freaking metal and are ready to go. Oh man, I love
Absolutely.
it.
Man,
Oh, hold on, I didn't hear what you said.
oh good,
What
I
was
haven't
that?
said anything.
Oh, okay.
One thing I did, I used to have an old American Strat, and I don't know why I got rid of it. I shouldn't have, but I really regret it. I replaced the single coil pickups with little 59s. They're humbuckers, but they're the size of single coils, so they just fit right in. And they were so beefy. It was unbelievable how good they sound. And I believe like a 59 is actually, I'm sure you know Ola England.
No, actually.
He's a very famous YouTuber that does gear tests
Okay.
a lot. He doesn't do that as much. Well, he still does do a lot of gear tests, but he's actually known for his bands. He was the guitarist for 6 Feet Under for a little while.
Oh, okay.
He does Feared. What other band was he in? The Haunted.
I haven't heard of them.
He's a really crazy Swedish death metal guitarist.
Okay.
He's like really, really good friends with people like what's his name? Keith Marrow and not Jeff Loomis. Jeff Loomis.
Who's he?
Jeff Loomis is he was one of the guitarists in Nevermore. One of the crazy guitarists. He was like one of the first ones to kind of get big into metal that was playing 7-string and stuff.
Okay.
He's also in Arch Enemy now?
Oh, okay.
I think he's in Arch Enemy now. And they both went off, and him and Chris Broderick, they were like, they were gods, and playing in the same band too. One of them went to Megadeth, and the other went to Arch Enemy.
That is interesting.
I don't know that Chris Broderick's still in Megadeth anymore, though.
Huh.
Dave Mustaine changes guitarists like he changes his underwear. Well, actually, he probably doesn't change his underwear that often.
I was hoping you were going to go there with that.
Yeah. It's sticky business.
Well, yeah, man, single coils.
Single coils are fun.
It's a different world. I've been working on this new mix for this new project I'm doing because I was like, I want to do metal, but with like a single coil because I've always used like humbuckers, and I'm just like, it's a totally different sound. My guitar teacher, I had him help me pick this one out because I was like, yeah, I really want like a Fender Strat, and so he's like showing me all these ones with humbuckers and stuff, and he's like, yeah, because you play metal, like I've listened to your stuff, but this is what you want, and I was like, no, you don't understand. Like I want the Fender Strat sound. I want like that weird Fender Strat sound. And he's like, oh, well then you gotta get like single coils, but I don't know if it's gonna work for what you're doing. And I was like, that's the point. I want that sound. I want it to sound like freaking like surfer metal.
Nice. Did you
So it's
what
gonna
amp
be
do you
fun.
use?
I actually don't use an amp. I use a where is it? A Line 6 UX2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I use it with
wait.
Pod Farm. Everyone hates Pod Farm, but I love it. I think I might be the only person on the planet that likes the Line 6 like digital guitar sound.
So I used to use I didn't used to use it. I bought a Line 6 UX2 a long time ago. And I couldn't use it for more than a couple days because it was so noisy. When I'd plug it in, it would just squeal, and the little meters on it would just go back and forth like crazy. And I was like, what the hell's wrong with this thing? But I bought it for like $20. And I ended up... I don't remember what I did with it, actually.
That sounds like it was broken.
It really does seem like it was broken. I was like, this
Now,
sucks.
when you said the thing about the meters, because I did my first UX2, it worked, and then it started doing that. It was like this crazy like white noise, and the
exactly.
meters just kept going like this, and I was like, what is happening? it was definitely something happened with the motherboard or whatever. Like it was busted.
Exactly. Well, it is a plastic casing, so I mean, it's
Yeah, they're
pretty
very
easy.
light. Like I remember when I bought the first one I ever bought, I was like, this feels like it's gonna break. But they usually last a couple years. I switched to a KB37, which is like the same thing, but it has a couple more XLR ports and it has a built-in MIDI keyboard. And then that lasted me for like 5 years, and then I swapped that out because eventually that died, and I was like, I'm just gonna get the UX2 again because I didn't really use the MIDI keyboard.
Nice. Yeah. If you ever do upgrade interfaces, I do highly recommend Scarlett, Focusrite Scarlett. They're actually pretty cheap. They're solid metal, and they are unbelievably good sounding. Very, very
It
clean.
depends because I really like Line 6 sounds. Like I also have one of those Line 6 Spider 4 amps or Spider
Ah,
3.
I see. Yeah.
So when I was playing guitar for a different band, for like a band, that's what I use. And I was like, other guitarist was like, man, like your gear is not good. Like everyone hates these amps. And I was like, no, trust me. And I sat at home for like 3 hours, like making the perfect tone. And then the best part about it was we streamed on my channel. And the second I started playing, somebody in the chat was like, that freaking signature Justin Bonitz guitar tone. And I realized when I did the comparison, I was like, I just made the exact same tone that I use for Hungry Lights in like a digital amp, but on this amp. I cannot escape that tone.
Man, you ought to think about getting the Line 6 Helix.
Oh, I've heard great things about that.
What's really cool about it, too, is you don't have to use, like, multiple things to plug it in. It's just like my Axe effects down here, how I can plug it directly in and everyone can just hear it live.
It's up there with the, you got the Axe Effects. What's that other one?
Kemper.
Yeah. So the Helix is the other one that's up there, right?
Yes. And the Helix
I might
is
think about that. If it's
way
Line
cheaper.
6, I might get it.
It's way cheaper, too. But
it's like
amazing.
Just like an Axe Effects?
Yes. Very similar.
Oh, you got me sold, man. If it's Line 6, I'm all about it. I got a hard on for Line 6.
Absolutely. That is, the main problem that they actually had with the Line 6 small amps that people hate, it's not actually the preamp that's in it. It's the speaker itself.
Oh.
And that's what most people have a problem with. Like, if you were to, like, get the Line 6 head and put it on, like, a Vintage 30 cabinet or something like that, it'll sound totally different. And you'll get
Interesting.
Speakers are what make the amps really have their sound.
I don't mind the speakers, because the one I have has 2. And
Oh, okay.
so it's like, I forget if it's 70 watt or 60 watt. I think it's 60, because I think it's 120 total. So I think it's 2 60-watt speakers. It might be 270. I could go check real quick, but I don't really feel like it. But
well, mainly it's like you have 2 full-size speakers then, I'm guessing, because most people have a problem with the practice amp more than they have a problem with the big combo amp.
I'll just go get it, dude.
Oh, okay.
It's right around the corner. Oh, come on.
I'll probably, just for now, stop sharing the... There we go. I can just pull it back up here later.
This is the one I got.
There we go.
So you can probably see inside it. It's got those 2 speakers. And then it's got, oh my god. So it's got that.
Nice.
So it's not bad. Hold on. It says it right here. Okay, there's 275 watts. Oh. Oh. That thing's so heavy. That's the only thing I don't like about it.
Now, see, I actually thought you said that was a Line 6 brand.
It is.
Oh, it looked like it said piss.
No, so like that's the one. Maybe that's not the one everyone talks crap about. I don't know, but it's
Not
270
so
watts.
much.
It's Line 6 Spider something. I
can-
actually put a piece of tape over it so that nobody could make fun of me, because they're like, what kind of Line 6 is that? And I'm like, I don't know. It doesn't say. It's like, I know what it is.
I can show you exactly what the amp is that people really dislike.
I'm curious now.
It's
because I thought it was that one, and I'm always like, it doesn't sound that bad. Oh yeah, that is not the one I have. So which one is that?
This is the 15 watt. And
Oh yeah, no, this one's like 150.
It's got a very tiny speaker. And the problem is that people will used to buy amps like that, and then they try to record them in the studio, and it'd come out so fizzly, and then they'd blame the studio engineer. Why is this sound so fizzy and it's tiny? And it's like, well, you can crank that amp all the way up, and it's still not going to be that loud. Like, it's loud, but it's you can sit in the same room with it. You know what I mean? It's not something that drives
that's not
speakers.
that amp.
Exactly.
Dude, that amp is so my the band that I was in, the other guitarist, he had this like really big, nice like Marshall stack. And
Nice.
he had it up like almost all the way. And this one, it's like the one I use, I had it on like 4 or 3 or 4, and he was like, "Jeez, dude, why is it so loud?" Like when I play at home, I got it right in my kitchen. I don't even put it up to 1. I put it on like between 0 and 1, and it's so loud that I'm worried about getting noise complaints.
I understand that.
That I know people don't like line 6, but I'm like, no, that amp. I love the tone. Like it took me a while to get a good tone, but I love the tone. It's heavy, so I don't like that, but it's definitely loud. If it can keep up with freaking full stacks, it's loud. But the only thing I don't like about it is it does this thing, and I'm not sure if it's the power chord, but it does this thing where it starts going like.
That could be a transformer going
maybe
out.
It'll do that for like when I'm playing quiet, but when I'm like at practice, when I crank it up to a normal volume, it stops. But if I turn my guitar off, like turn the volume down and just like let the guitar idle, it'll start doing it. And everyone's like, "What's your amp doing?" And I'm like, "I don't know, dude. It's just talking to me. Like that's just what it does." But it's been doing it since I bought it. That thing, it has to be. I want to say it's got to be 12 years old now.
Well, let's see. Actually, you said it's Spider 3.
I thought it was. It might not be.
Let
me look it up.
Let's see where the copy.
While you do that, I'm gonna go look. Wait, well, hold on. I might have just pulled it up. It might be 4.
Even the Spider 4. Oh, what the heck?
No, it's not 4 either. Let me just go look. I'll take the tape off, and then I can just tell you.
Huh, I gotta. I didn't believe I'm putting dates on any of this. For real?
Yeah. Yeah, it's Spider 3.
Spider 3, huh?
I guess it's just the bigger version because it's got the 150 watt.
I think the Spider 3s were made in like 2006.
Yeah, that makes sense because I'm pretty sure I got it in 2008. Might have been 2009.
Yeah, I think the Spider 4 started in 2010.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, this is Spider 3. I just checked. So I guess it's just a bigger Spider 3. Because all the Spider 3s I'm looking at are all like
practice amps. Yeah, just type in Spider 3 120, and I think you'll find it. Oh, by the way, it looks like you got a fan in the comments here too.
Oh, hey!
All the way from Brazil.
From Brazil. How's it going, man? Yeah, that looks
cool.
like it. Line 6 Spider 3 120. That's it. Or no, it's even bigger. The one I have is 150. Is that a thing?
Yeah, that should be a thing. Usually it's easier to push.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, and one from Vietnam.
Oh, there's a Vietnam guy in here. Hey, cool.
So let me guess. You pronounce your name Hun? I think.
Oh man, I'm not very culturally oriented at all. If this was my stream and he was like, I probably would have called him Hong Nam. I would have called him Hong Nam.
Right. And
Nguyen.
So you know how that's actually pronounced? That's interesting.
How is it?
When? I believe so.
Jeez.
I know because I dated a Vietnam chick a long time ago.
Oh.
Yeah, he says true.
Man, what's weird? I recently had a friend tell me that Japan the way like that it's pronounced in their language is not Japan. It's like Nippon or something like Nippon.
Oh, really?
And I was just like why are we calling it Japan if that's not the name of the country?
I do kind of wonder.
Translations are weird.
Right, and that is strange because I believe in English, Japanese people still call it Japan, but whenever they say it in their own native language, it's different.
Yeah, in their language, it's different.
Yeah, it's so strange to me.
It's like if everyone called America, America, and we were like, no, it's Merca.
You know what's very interesting, actually? I wonder if you knew this. Oklahoma, which is where I live. Do you know what language that is?
Actually, no.
So Oklahoma is Cherokee, and it is a direct translation that means red man.
Red. Oh, wow.
Yeah. So Oklahoma means red man.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Very
That's kind
interesting.
of cool.
And then a lot of people are, it's funny whenever they're like, like they're wanting to rename the like Redskins and all that. And it's like, if that was offensive, I'm pretty sure the Cherokee Nation themselves, at the very least, wouldn't have named their own state Redman.
Wait, well, how do you can't offend yourselves?
Exactly. But I mean, I
don't
just
know,
think it's
man.
all silly.
It is. I'm not really about PC culture. I try to be nice to people, but so I've been working on my
Absolutely.
book. I've been working on my book since 2016, right?
Oh, really?
So I'm on like
Okay.
the 12th draft now. Or no, I just finished the 11th draft. So I'm on the 12th draft. So it's like the book following Hungry Lights. Like it's like you take the music and this is like the book form of it. So it's really cool.
That's really
But
cool.
it's really fun. So it's like I've got 5 of them because I planned out all 5 albums, all 5 books, the story. So it's everything's already been planned out. Now I'm just like, oh, I just got to write it now. So it's like, the story music tells like 1%, 10% of the story. And then the book itself is like, it's an actual like fantasy world. And so I've
Nice.
been reading it to a friend of mine because I'm like, I want to read it out loud to like see how you feel about the pacing and like, I'll do the voices and just, it's fun. But I'm just like, I want to know what you think. And one of the things she pointed out, she was like, so I really like it, and I know you're not about PC culture, but I do use the word retarded in it. We'll say half a dozen times. Like there's a part when like Prill's on the floor and his brother's like, "We get up, you look retarded," and I'm just like, they're like worried because they're like, I know people aren't okay with that, and I was like, well, I'm
Right.
self-publishing it. My fans, most of them aren't gonna care, but I was like, I'm like, I have, brown people in it, black people in it, white people in it. I have strong female characters. I've done everything. Like, there's no sex scenes. I don't even swear in it besides like the word bitch. I'm just like, it's a very PC book aside from the fact that I use the word retard. So I was like, I'm not gonna not use that word. Like, I grew up using that word. It's always been okay in my family. So I'm just like, I can't let them win. I gotta just hold on to it. I'm like the
Well, I absolutely
character.
agree with that.
I'm like you can't. There has to be a line. It's like if I've already done all of this like on my own free will, just like because I'm like this is how I want the story being told. It's like it's not in the narrative. It's not like I say that in the narrative, but it's that in the character himself will say it to another character, and I'm just like, I can't let them win. Like they can't take that word away from me. If I am okay with other things, it's like I'm like yeah, I'm already thinking about like ahead of time. I'm like because I know people are gonna have a problem with it, and I'm like honestly, I'd be like I say it like 6 times. Can you just maybe not read that word? Can you?
Right? I mean, well, that's the funny thing about the word, too, is the word itself, I mean, this is
It's
what's silly.
slowing something down. Like it's
Right.
retarded. It's slowed down.
Exactly. And calling
Obviously,
somebody
I'm
slow,
not using it that way.
I mean, but when you call somebody just slow, it's like, oh, that's nice. Or if you say somebody has Down syndrome,
Yeah.
that's fine. But it's like retarded, and it's just like, why did that word become so crazy?
I don't know. It's just people don't like it anymore. And I can't sit there and like argue, well, that's not what the word means because in the context of the way I say it in the story, I'm like, no, I'm absolutely like, he's calling him retarded. Like he's,
Right.
It's just I'm being offensive about it, but I'm like, but it's the character. It's the character saying it. It's
Right.
like how like you've got Quentin Tarantino movies and he drops N-bombs all the time.
Oh,
And I'm
absolutely.
just like the character is saying it. It's part of the story. Like just
Right.
if you don't like it, plug your ears for that part.
Well, it's like this too. You know what's actually crazy more offensive, or was supposed to be crazy more offensive than retarded?
What?
Idiot.
Yeah. Oh man, I call people idiots all the time. What are you doing, you stupid idiot?
Exactly. But it's in idiots like, oh, that's just like a, that's a good word for 13-year-olds to use, and it's like, actually, that meant a mentally ill person. Like a psychotic mentally ill person is what idiot means. And retarded just means slow. In fact, we still use it in music. What is that? Oh, it's a
I think
retard.
the issue people have isn't they're like we're like, oh man, that guy's a retard. But I'm
Right.
like, it just packs this punch.
It kinda
because
does.
if you're like, dude, that guy, like, man, you should have saw how much of a retard that dude was. Like in your mind, you already are like starting to think like, oh man, exactly the type of person I'm talking about. Like the word has
Right.
made its mark. You can't take it away. You can't take it back now.
Exactly. And
So
it's
that's where I
hilarious.
stand on that. I'm like, I don't mind, being nice to people. And I'm like, all right, like, I have some brown people in my story, but I'm like, I do that because I wanted brown people in my story.
Right.
Like Prill's wife happens to be brown because I just have a thing for brown people. I like brown girls. So I'm just like, you know what? Fantasy, like my fictional wife is going to be brown. So
I
I'm
understand
just
that.
like, it's just what I do. So it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, like I get it. You want people to be nice for each other, but you're not going to censor my imagination. Like, sorry.
Exactly. And that's the thing too, is it shouldn't be a problem. But
No, do you play Magic the Gathering?
I used to actually quite a bit.
So
not so
I'm
much
gonna
anymore.
I'm gonna send you an article.
Nice.
It's recently. Actually, I could just pull it up and share.
Are you
going to
talk about the cards they banned?
Yes.
Yes.
The racist cards.
Jeremy
We're
Hanley
gonna-
covered that actually pretty well.
I am so triggered by it, and I can understand some of them. Like if I share my screen.
Oh, you mean like ban all blacks?
like these cards?
Yeah.
Is my screen? Can you see it?
Yes,
you can see
actually.
it.
Well, yeah.
So like some of these, I get it. Like this one, Invoke Prejudice. You got these dudes
Yes.
clearly look like they're wearing KKK masks. But like when you read what the function of the card is, it's like, well, that makes sense. That's why they would
Exactly.
name it that. Like it's not just a particular cover. It's whatever color card you pick, this happens to. And then there's like this one where it's like Crusade. White creatures get +1/+1. But it's
Yeah.
like, okay, but if you've ever played a white deck, like a lot of the white decks, like creatures are all about like these little tiny power-ups, and then you have this whole army of powered up guys. So it's
Exactly.
like, this isn't a racist card. This is just how the card functions. This one, Jihad, I'm a little iffy on that one. But even then, it's like the cards aren't racist. Like this one, Cleanse. All black creatures in play are destroyed. So it's like, all right, I get that, but it's like, would you say if it said cleanse and said like all blue creatures in play are destroyed, is it racist? Like, it's not a racist card. It's talking about
Exactly.
the colors of the card. So it's this, all of this stuff. Stone throwing devils, first strike. It's like, they're just throwing rocks.
No joke. But what's
But
funny
they're like,
is,
no, but it's a black card and they're throwing rocks. So they like, it's making fun of black people. It's just like, no, it's not. It's just a freaking magic card.
also they're very
This
pink.
one, I don't even think this one, like, what is that one? British Gypsies or something?
But it's
like-
gypsies.
But they're gypsies. But it's like, come on. Like, that's not racist. That's
Also,
like if
they
it was
look very
called
white,
like
too. That's strange.
hippies.
Hippies.
Like, it's just dumb. And then this one, Imprison. Like, you have a darker skinned person wearing this. But it's like, dude, come on.
Right?
Like, these aren't, like, honestly, out of all these cards I've gone through, the only questionable one is this one.
Well, what's interesting is if you go back the one card, right there,
Which one? This
Crusade.
one?
Yeah.
Crusade.
So I'm pretty sure Jihad just means Holy Crusade.
Well, there you go.
So that's
and
what's
even with this
interesting.
one, it's like choose a color as long as the opponent has cards of this color in play. All white creatures gain. Okay, so it's a white creature thing. It's just stupid.
Right, and
But it's like it's the problem I have is say you had this card Crusade. Say it was a green card and it said green creatures get +1/+1. Is it racist now?
right, exactly.
Like so that, and then I know D&D is also doing it now. They're removing some of the races from the game that they think are inherently evil and racist or something like that. And it's just like stupid. It's like I don't understand that at all because anyone who's like a veteran D&D player, they already have the books that has the races in them. And even if you use D&D Beyond and they remove these creatures, it's like you can just homebrew them right back into your campaign. So why are you taking them out?
And that's what's frustrating is they're owned by the same company now. Wizards of the Coast bought Magic the Gathering,
Okay.
and they bought D&D.
Okay.
So they own the rights to both. And what's interesting, Magic, I don't remember who invented D&D, but Magic was actually invented by a school teacher.
Really?
Oh yeah, and I don't think he made much money off of it. I think he kind of cut himself short when he sold it. I could be wrong on that, but if I remember right, I don't think he made much money, and Wizards of the Coast kind of screwed him.
That sucks.
Exactly, and I wish it was still him that owned it because, well, you see the artwork from the old cards is really, really good. And
Did he do the artwork, or was it like his little privately owned company or whatever?
I don't know if he did the artwork or not. I would like to think he did for the first few set of cards, but I could be wrong on that. I know he's the one who started it up, though, created the game. I think he would play it with his students. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, imagine having a teacher like that. That would have been amazing. What a cool guy.
Yeah, that would have been really cool.
And, yeah, they ended up buying it off of him. Actually, I don't know if somebody else bought it off him first and then Wizards of the Coast got it, but Wizards is they've been giving a guy named Jeremy Hambley problems for a long, long time. They actually banned him permanently from the game of Magic the Gathering.
Was he a player?
He used to go to all their conventions. He was a player. He still is a player technically, but he can't go to the conventions anymore. He can't technically own an account online for any of that. They tried to steal all of his money that he spent on cards online as well, but he got that back. It was all because
what did he do? Yeah.
So it was this crazy chick named Christine Sprankle, who's a cosplayer, and she does really, really expensive cosplay outfits. Then people fund her through Patreon or something like that to be able to make these costumes. And he made a video about her saying,
wow, yeah, she's got very in-depth cosplays.
Yes. He made a video about her saying, it wasn't even directed towards her. It was directed towards guys who try to spend a lot of money on her and go, please notice me. And he just makes a video essentially saying, yes, exactly. He makes a video about them pretty much saying, look, this chick ain't ever going to date you. You got to realize that. And he's like, I think that to a degree, he's like, I think if she knows these kind of people are doing this, she needs to tell them to back off, stop donating money, and at this point, it's becoming kind of an addiction. And so he kind of criticizes her a little bit. Well, she ends up telling everybody, makes a big false claim that he's harassing her as a disgusting neckbeard. He's harassing her and doing all this crazy stuff. So Wizards does an investigation on him, goes, oh, we're going to ban you. Well, they couldn't find any evidence of any kind of harassment at all. But they did ban him for a Pepe meme and some statement calling somebody some sort of, like, name. It wasn't even anything crazy. And then there was some other meme as well. I can't remember the other meme. But there were 3 memes that they banned him for. And one of them, the biggest culprit, was a Pepe meme because they were like, this means you're a Nazi. Yeah. And so that's what he got banned for. And they said, this is proof that you were harassing Sprankle. And then she later came out and admitted that he didn't harass her at all.
Oh, too late.
Right. And he brought it up to Wizards, and they're like, we don't care.
Of course. Yeah, I don't like that.
Exactly.
Did you watch Rob's new channel?
Smiling Pariah?
Yeah.
Let me see. Did he upload a new video? Are you just talking about
I think he's got 2. So I've been hanging out with him again. He's doing really well.
Nice. I'm glad to hear that.
He's starting to come back. He's making his comeback, so he's doing really well. But there's one video on his channel. It is amazing. Let's pull it up. It's
Are you talking about the feel-good YouTuber?
No, I think it's the 60 Minutes YouTube interview is so bad one.
Oh, okay. I did watch that one.
That one. The one where he talks about how she, on live TV or whatever it was, she's talking about what videos are allowed to be on YouTube and which ones are not.
Right.
And then on live TV, she nukes a history channel because she misunderstands a number.
That's right. Exactly. And he digs deep into her.
Blew my mind because it's like, what was the number? Was like, she thought it was like, yeah, the number 1418 is supposed to, it's like this like white supremacy thing.
Right.
It's just like, okay, but that's not the number. So you just nuked a channel over like a date.
Exactly.
Like you just nuked a history channel over something you completely misunderstood on live TV. And it's just like, what are you doing?
Exactly. YouTube needs to not be ran by Susan any longer. Honestly,
or she just needs to hire some people who know what the frick is going on.
Exactly. That's been my argument for a while. She needs to hire a business professional to handle all the ads. They were so scared they were going to lose all these AdSense people. And that's why the whole quote-unquote apocalypse happened, that she gave into
Another one?
Oh, there have been actually multiple. There have been about 4, I think, that have happened.
Oh, I only know about the first 2. So,
and I think
the third one was like Jake Paul or Logan Paul or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Or was it
second
the
or third? One? Second or third. That was the whole Japanese thing. But they should never have negotiated and said, okay, well, we'll let you choose who you can sponsor. No, YouTube should have said, this is our platform. We'll deal with people who break the rules. You either shut up or go advertise somewhere else. And let them walk. They wouldn't have walked because this is YouTube. Having an advertisement on YouTube is better than having an advertisement in the Super Bowl. More people watch YouTube than they watch the Super Bowl. I mean, that's just an absolute fact.
Jeez, I didn't know that.
Well, you know what's even more viewed than the Super Bowl?
Wow.
League of Legends tournament. Or like...
No way!
Yeah, League of Legends.
That makes sense. I can see that.
And a lot of it's streamed on YouTube, a lot of it's streamed on Twitch. And the combined views on that together is way more than the Super Bowl. And so they have way more sponsors involved.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you could have told them to walk, and they never would have done it. They never would have walked. That would have been a stupid mistake on all of those advertisers' part. And other advertisers would have snuck right on in and taken up those spots, those very high-end spots. Like, how many sponsors do you think would essentially give their left nut just to sponsor on PewDiePie's video?
Oh, most of them.
I would imagine so. Or to be able to be an ad before Ed Sheeran starts playing his song.
Oh, yeah. Most of them.
That's major.
Most of, if not all.
Exactly. They could have threatened that and been like, you're out. You're not even going to get that spot. But instead, they were just like, okay, please don't leave. Here's everything. And they folded, which is every... It's the wet dream of advertisers. They're like, we got them. We can make them do anything. And now our ads are cheaper. We don't have to pay as much for them. And also, we don't want to do it on that video or that video. We don't want to do it on small videos at all, actually, either, because we think that a lot of them don't understand the rules as much. So let's do it only on bigger channels. Oh, now we have to do it. You know, there used to be, if you made a YouTube account, you could get sponsored immediately. Get sponsors on there immediately. Then they did it to where you had to have 1,000 subscribers and like 2,000 watch time hours and stuff like that. And they just kept making it more and more difficult. And it wasn't YouTube's decision. It was the advertisers that made that decision.
So it's like when the record label starts to run the show for the band.
Exactly. And the band just caves and lets them do it. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, here's all of our rights. By the way, yeah, only pay us 10%. You own 90% of the music rights, even though we write 100% of the music, you know?
Yeah.
That kind of scenario is pretty much what the advertisers did to YouTube.
Oh, that sucks.
And it's not too late. Susan could just, either hire someone or take a couple business classes and be like, you know what, I'm going to put my foot down.
Yeah, take a business. Hire someone. There are people whose jobs it is to, like, teach you how to run your business. Like, take some freaking, Get a private teacher and have them take lessons for a year.
So do you know how Susan Wojcicki actually got into that position?
So from what I've heard, she, like the guys who started Google, she like let them do it in her garage or something, and
Oh
then
yeah,
they just were like, "Hey, you want to be the CEO of YouTube?"
exactly. Well, she was actually their teacher.
Teacher,
And
okay.
technically speaking, does that mean they were, before Google was a thing, they were Googling her in her own garage?
Yeah, they were.
Sorry to throw that in there. No, that just sounds wrong.
It sounds a little weird when you say it that way.
But she seriously was a big influence on them, and they paid her back by doing that. But at this point in time, man, they really need to just relinquish those reins and realize that she's not necessarily the best person for this anymore.
Yeah. I recently heard that Nike did something,
Ah, yes.
and it's your channel, so I don't want to overstep, but I did heard that they lost a lot of money because they did
Oh,
that
you're not
thing.
overstepping at all. I'm comfortable talking about that stuff. Yes, they ended up hardcore. They've been, backing Colin Kaepernick and BLM and all that. I would be fine with BLM if they didn't turn into this Marxist socialist, only Black Lives Matter. We don't worry about whenever a white guy gets shot by the cops. We don't worry about when a Mexican gets shot by the cops or anything like that. No, only if a black guy gets shot by cops, or if a white guy in general shoots a black guy. No matter what the situation is, we're going to protest it. And it's like, y'all aren't even going to look into it?
Nope, nope, nope. Double standard.
So it's just, yeah, it's this double standard here. And there are a lot of black people that are against Black Lives Matters because
Yeah.
they ask Black Lives Matters for help. Like, let's say their black son gets shot up in a gang drive-by or something. They're like, they're trying to get attention for it. They're trying to, essentially get their case recognized, to be like, look at this violence, my poor son and all that. And BLM's just like, oh, well, no, we don't care. And it's just,
Yeah.
it's a good way to push people away from your movement when that happens.
It definitely is. And it's weird when they start being, what's the word? Like particular about it. Like there are certain people, like you'll have a guy who's like a brown guy speaking out against it, and they're like, his opinion doesn't matter because he's not dark enough. And it's like, well, excuse me? Like, for example, my whole dad's side of the family, they're all brown. There's a couple, really dark people in there, but for the most part, they're all brown. So like, I'm half Jamaican. So whenever I speak about certain matters, like people are like, oh, look at this white guy. He's so freaking racist. And I'm like, wow, my whole dad's side of the family is black and brown. How am I racist? And I'm just like, I'm like sitting there like, I don't understand. So I recently watched this video, and a friend of mine like verified the information. I can send it to you if you want. But you know that guy, something, the red elephant?
The red elephant.
Something, Vincent James?
Vincent James, huh?
Vincent James Red. Yeah, that's the guy. So this guy, he's just a guy. He's I think he's a conservative, but he has this channel where he just talks about issues and stuff like that. And he's talking about the statistics of, the interracial crime. And when you look at, I pulled up some like stuff from 2018, I think it was, and the most interesting part was that out of all the interracial crime, white, I don't know how to pronounce it, but like white people doing crimes to black people. Is that white on black crime?
Yeah, white on black crime. Yes.
So that was the lowest one.
Right.
The highest one was, I wonder if I still have the graph because I can't remember, but it was something that would surprise you. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Chinese and Japanese crime.
No. Obviously, and there was no black on black crime, obviously, because that is this was just for the charts for like interracial crime.
Okay, I see.
Let me see. Let me scroll for a minute. You gotta love. Oh, did it get removed? You know what? Hold on. I actually gotta switch. Nope. Where is it? Here it is. All right. So the top one was black on white crime.
Mm-hmm.
It was 547,948 recorded crime incidents for 2018, right?
Right.
White on black was 59,778.
Exactly. I have seen that
And
statistic.
yeah, the second highest was Hispanic on white, 365,299, and then white on Hispanic was 207,104. So it was like you got all these people freaking out and like, oh, racism exists in America and all this craziness. But it's like when you look at the graphs like these, it's just like, okay, but the reverse of what you're saying is what the statistics show.
Right. But that in itself is racist.
Yeah, to say that, right?
It's
And then
if the data doesn't show what those kind of people want it to show, then the data itself is racist.
The data's racist.
They
Like,
do
how can data be racist?
That's the amazing mystery.
And then the same guy, he was talking about the Arab slave trade. You know about that?
Yes,
So
absolutely.
he's talking about that, and this was blowing my mind. I'm just like, why isn't anyone talking about this? Why isn't this all over the news? Why did I never learn about this in school? I'm going to be 30 in September, and I'm like, how am I 30 years old, and I'm just finding out about this now? I'm just like, it's just blowing my mind how much information has just been like swept under the rug because it doesn't follow the narrative.
So, more or less, the way that people have a lot of white guilt is what they call it. Lots of white guilt. And they believe in their minds that, oh, they don't understand it, but what they're doing is they are being incredibly racist themselves. They are
For existing, right?
Well, they treat minorities as if they can't help it because we did not educate them enough, more or less. We did not help them come out of poverty. We oppressed them. We do the bad things to them. All white people are bad. And it's like, by saying that, honestly, you are saying that people of color are inept. That they are not smart enough.
By default, that's totally what it sounds like they're saying.
And it's like you have people in the middle going, no, I'm pretty sure a black person's still a person and they can actually, function for themselves, pull themselves up by their own bootstraps, and they can actually work for themselves and all that. But a lot of the extreme left-wing people that are here are like, no, they're not capable of doing that. We have to use our voices to boost them.
How is that not racist?
They just
no matter
understand
how you frame this, it's just
Exactly.
like, okay, so what you're saying doesn't follow what you're saying.
Exactly. And they don't understand it. They don't see their own racism when it comes down to it and their own biases. And it's just like, dude, like you're telling everyone else they're racist, but the reason why they're actually telling people that they're racist is because there's this mentality of, well, I'm racist, but it can't be just me. It has to be everyone because it makes them feel better. So they're like, we all have and they end up saying this, they're like, we all have a problem. And it's like, no, you have a problem. You know what I mean? It's like, that's the whole thing about it, is they're projecting their own racism onto other people. Mm-hmm. And they don't want to be alone in it.
What are they called? The people who are, the homophobic people who are secretly gay?
Oh,
so they just, but they're like upset that they're gay, so they go
Romans.
around projecting Romans. Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, obviously, not every homophobic person is gay, but you do hear about a lot of those people. They're like, I freaking hate gay people, and then all of a sudden they're like, you find out like that they're secretly like hiring male prostitutes and all kinds of stuff, and it's just like, they're upset that they have these feelings, so they project their own self-hate on an entire thing of people, and it's just like,
right, you're talking about high school football teams.
Yeah.
No, I'm not sure who you're talking about exactly, but
well, no one specifically, but it's just a thing you see a lot of the time. You see it with not even just like gay, but you see it where like when a person hates something, instead of or when a person is something, like you see a lot of people, they have massive egos, so they'll go around telling everyone, oh dude, you have a big ego, and it's just like, no, you do, but you're so like, you hate yourself so much that you're trying to downplay it because, well, if everyone has a big ego, now mine doesn't seem as big.
Exactly the way it is. I actually used to know a guy. I won't say his name, but he was in my school, and he used to hardcore bully gay kids. Hardcore, like it was brutal. What the things he would say and do. He ended up actually going off to college, and he tried to get his whole gang of like wrestling team to beat up on a gay kid. And the wrestling team's like, yeah, let's do it. We'll meet him out back here behind this school. And
Where
he was like,
was
okay.
This? Wait, is this where you are? In Oklahoma?
Yes. And well, there's a twist to this story. So they all agreed to do it. They went out behind the school, and when he showed up, he was like, "Where's he at?" And they're like, "He's standing where you are." And they beat the tar out of him, and they said, "We get your homophobic crap and leave." And he ended up having to transfer schools.
Wow, what a bunch of cool guys.
So it ended up coming out really, really nice. But looking back on all that now, he was so unbelievably like, and this is someone, I don't use homophobic a lot because I'm like, most people who don't like gay people aren't, I would say, afraid of them.
They're not afraid of gay people.
But this guy was like, if a gay guy got too close, he was like, get away from me, like, it was legitimately like a fear.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, looking back at it now, I just have to question, was he gay? And he was battling
That's what I was getting at. Like, there are people that are like that, and because of their either religious beliefs or moral beliefs or whatever, they realize that they're like that and they're not okay with it. So they have this weird internal struggle where they're just like, get away from me, like, ah! And you're just like, well, what the hell?
Exactly.
But no, I agree. Like most people who use the term homophobic, it's like they use it. It's the same way that people just throw that word out there. The same way they throw like, oh, dude, that's a guy. He said the N-word. He's racist. It's like, no, it's about the context of the word.
Exactly.
Like that changes. The context is everything.
Context is absolutely everything. And that's like, I'm sure you heard about Count Dankula, right?
Count Dankula. Is that the puppy guy?
Yes. The pug?
Yes.
Yes. He, in court.
Yes,
he was
this
arguing.
Freaking guy.
Oh, yeah. In court, he argued it was just a joke, and the judge, and this is in Scotland, in UK, so the judge legitimately said, context does not matter.
Yes, it does.
Absolutely. And he was baffled, because he was like, he's like, even in the beginning of his video, he goes, oh, my adorable little pug. It's so cute and cuddly, and my wife just drives me crazy with it. Well, it wasn't his wife at the time, but ends up making this whole speech in the beginning going, she's driving me crazy with this dog. Mm-hmm. And he goes, so I decided to turn it into the worst thing I could think of, a Nazi. And legitimately, he says the worst thing he can think of. The most evil thing he could think of.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't that say something about, like, how he's obviously not a Nazi?
Yeah.
If he thinks that they're evil and bad, unless you're into being evil and bad, which he's clearly not, but, it's, to me, it was just like, how is this not in context?
No, I noticed that's how they capture a lot of people. That's why you have to be like, obviously, like I've already said things on this stream where if people aren't watching the full stream, if they just take segments and re-edit these segments, they can make me look like a piece of crap.
Exactly.
And the worst part is that that's what's going to blow up. The stream isn't going to, I'm like, hopefully it does, because that'd be awesome if your stream blew up. But what's going to blow up is when people take it, edit it out of context, put it out there, and I cannot believe this person said this. Right. And then that gets hits and people jump on it. And you have very few times where people find the source and they're like, okay, that's from this stream. I watched the whole thing and you took it all out of context and made him seem like a piece of crap. But he actually never said that. You ruined it. It happened with that guy. What's his name? Milo Yiannopoulos?
Milo Yiannopoulos.
I remember people were like, I hate that guy. Like, he's freaking endorses, or what is it? Not endorses, but like he's all about, like, advocates pedophilia. And I'm like, no, he doesn't. And I ended up watching the clip and then going back and watching the full stream. And I was like, that whole clip was taken out of context to make him look like a piece of garbage.
Now, there is one guy that does advocate for it, and his name is Amos Yee. And
I think I watched him on that, what's that name? Shoe on Head?
Oh yeah. So you
I
have
think
seen
she did a video about him,
Yes,
and I watched this guy
she
and was
did.
like, "Why is this guy allowed on YouTube? This is the person that should be removed from YouTube, not
Exactly.
history channels."
Exactly. And that's the thing too is man, I actually did a video over her recently and I felt bad doing it because I'm such a major Shoe on Head fan. But she ended up hardcore. Shoot, it's been a little bit since I've done it now. She ended up making like a super SJW point in a video.
Wait, she did?
She's been going more and more extreme left wing because she's been hanging out with kind of people like Vosh. That
Oh no.
yeah, and
She used to seem so like.
she goes back and forth. Her newest video, excellent, absolutely excellent.
Actually, you're right. She's kind of like a centrist, isn't she?
She is most of the time, but then she has like extreme left-wing points of views at random times, and she'll kind of spout them off, and I'm just like, what are you talking about? That's unbelievably authoritarian and bad. And then at other times she'll be normal and all that, and I'm like, I like that stuff more. Like, you know, anti-authoritarian is the best thing. Like, in my opinion, of course. I mean, there are a lot of people out there who think very authoritarian people are the worst, you know, or they're the best.
Man.
But
I'm
it's
right
like,
in the middle.
I try to stay as in the middle as possible. Actually, we ought to do that sometime. We ought to have you take a political compass test.
I took it.
Oh, you did take it.
Hold on.
Okay.
I think I might have saved it just in case you want it. Yeah, I did. Hold on.
Nice.
I'll
see if
pull
I
it up on
can't,
the. I'll pull it up on the stream saver. Look at this. Not stream saver. Man, you remember? You remember screensavers?
Screensavers, yes.
Share. Yeah, here we go. This was it right here.
Nice. Oh, okay.
So I was surprised that I got to this far on the left because honestly, the way I was answering the question, I was like, usually I'm a lot more right wing, but I was like, I'm almost right in the middle. I think this was because of questions
close.
on. I think it was the questions on like whether I think like stuff about marijuana and stuff about like gay marriage, where I'm just like, I don't really give a shit about this. Like,
I see.
I don't believe in marriage and I don't smoke. But I'm like, I don't care if other people want to get married and smoke. So I think those questions pushed me towards the left a little bit. But I was like, man, I was almost right in the middle. Almost got it.
That's pretty close.
But
That's
that was from
unbelievably
May.
close.
That was from May 11th is when I took that.
Let's see, is this
Which was
one?
very extreme because last year, I'd say
oops.
last January, January 2019, when I took that, I was like unbelievable. I was like the bottom right corner, so it's a drastic change.
Wow. That is actually crazy. The bottom right corner?
Yeah,
So
it
you were
was
very libertarian right wing?
Yes, I was all the way like the bottom right corner, and now I just moved almost to the middle. I think
That
the
is
authoritarian
actually-
stuff came from all my stuff about the prison system.
Yeah, and you're not even, I mean, you're up in the authoritarian area, but 1 point up there, that's really nothing. That's not
Yeah,
really
I was-
authoritarian.
Almost there. I was like, man, I almost made it. Because
Where
that would have been
is
so cool to
my-
be like, I'm right in the middle.
Actually, I can't find it, but I can just find the video. Go compass. Oh, cool, it didn't type any of that. I love that.
Oh, when your hands are shifted one key over and you just type like burger.
Exactly. Pretty much. It's, weird. My channel does not come up at all when I legitimately type in Arthemesia Political Compass.
Really?
Wow.
They're doing you dirty, man.
Can't even find me on... Okay, let's see if I can just scroll through some videos then. That'll be easy enough. Easy enough, I would say. Here it is. Oh, okay, the video is called Am I Right Wing? But I have it tagged on there. Okay, here we are. I am... Whoops. I will share my screen. Oh my god, I thought that was me, and I was trying to move my mouth, and I was like, it froze, but it's on the video. Because I'm an idiot. Here we go. Application window. We'll do... Oh, right, I gotta full screen this to click select, because that's fun. There we go.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I'm actually, let's see if I can blow that up a bit. I'm a little bit... I am 2.5 points to the left, and then I'm down at 3.03, which I'll just say down 3 points towards libertarian.
Down 3 points.
So you're way more centrist than I am.
Crazy.
I still consider myself pretty close. Anything within 3 points around that whole center there, I consider a centrist.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, as
yeah,
you can
honestly,
see, there's a lot
I thought
of points.
I would have expected you to be a little more on the right, honestly.
No, actually, I'm very much pro-gay marriage. I'm very much like, you know, don't tell people what to do for the most part.
Yeah.
I'm still pro-laws and stuff, but I really hate when people are like, oh, you need to do this and that, and you need to say these proper pronouns and things like that to people. I'm just like,
yeah,
you really don't.
That's how I am. It's like I don't really care what people do. I'm really not, because I've had someone accuse me of being like a right winger one time, and I'm like, I don't think I am. Like, I'm very much about people. I just like, I just don't like the SJW and PC culture. Like, that's really it.
Exactly. And
like, I'm like, why are you telling me what to do? Like, I'm not telling you what to do. Like, if you want to get an abortion, I don't care. If you want to smoke weed, I don't care. If you want to shoot up heroin, I don't care. Stop telling me what I can and cannot say.
The only time, like, when abortion comes up in general, the only time I am ever, like, against it is if it's, like, they are about to pop. You know what I mean?
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like,
those people that did the 8-month, that's when it's like, okay, now you're just murdering a baby at that point.
Right. I'm just
that's
like,
not
I'm
an
not
abortion.
okay with that.
It's like you could get a C-section at that point and give your kid up for adoption.
Actually, they could just induce you, and it would be even an easier birth right then and there, and still, they could legitimately take care of that kid at that age. It's actually viable for life. When you're within, I think, when you're within 30 weeks, which is, that'd be 2.5 months before you give birth, that baby can come right out of you anytime in between that point in time and survive.
Yeah, my cousin, her son Waylon, he's gonna be 3 in September 4th, I think. But he was one of those babies who came out like 8 months. He came out a little early because she got preeclampsia. So they were like, okay, we want to save you and your baby, and he's far enough along, he'll be fine.
Right.
So he did come out early, but like he's happiest freaking kid in the world.
Nice, and that's cool. September 4th, huh?
Yeah, it's interesting because September 4th was my grandma's birthday, so he was born on her birthday. We were like, whoa, cool.
That is super cool. My dad's birthday is actually September 5th.
Really?
And our kid's due date is September 3rd.
Oh, yeah, I totally forgot. Your wife was pregnant. Yeah, congratulations. You're almost there.
She didn't. She never forgets.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It's fun. It's, I can't wait for this kid to be born.
She never forgets.
Exactly. No, it can be pretty rough. Pregnancies, oh man, it sucks.
Yeah, I have a friend. Her name's Skylar. She's giving birth like today, I guess.
Really?
Yeah, yes. So she's super pregnant, and she messaged me yesterday, or I guess it was Wednesday around like 1:38, and she says, I'm giving birth tomorrow.
Wow.
Oh, she's messaging me back right now. But yeah, I'm just like, man, everyone's having babies right now. This is crazy.
Yeah, and I bet, let me guess, she's having a girl?
I think it's a boy.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Most people seem to be having girls. It's crazy. Like, Bearing, he just had his girl in February, and oh man, she is the cutest little thing.
Oh man!
My buddy Casper just had his baby in February, and my sister had her baby in April, and we're having our kid in September, and all of us had girls.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my god. She just messaged me right now and said, I'm supposed to be asleep, but the baby is trying to exit right now, and I've never been in so much pain in my life. I just said, why are you on your phone?
That's, no, there's no logic when it comes to a woman and her phone. Ever. Ever. I can say that. Like, I think my wife would admit to that.
Wow.
She's like, yeah, no, the phone is a must. She'll probably be tweeting on her phone, LOL, in pain, post, shoving this thing out my cooter, You know, just like, okay. It's like we're in the middle
There
of
you go.
something right now. Get off the phone. You know?
We're in the middle.
Yeah.
If she does that, you got to be like, I feel like I'm taking this a lot more seriously than you.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, I would probably get the absolute shit smacked out of me if I said that. It would be worth it though.
Oh, that's one of those jokes.
Absolutely.
I would totally do it.
Absolutely. Sometimes I probably do go a little too far with the jokes, especially with the wife. Sometimes I think about it, I'm like, should I have said that? And afterwards, I'm like, absolutely.
Yeah. It's one of those, I have those moments where I'm like, I want to say it, but should I? And then I'm like, the fact that I don't know, I probably should.
Yeah, exactly. You never know until you do it.
Yeah. Usually I don't get the reaction I thought I would get. And I'm like, yeah, it was still kind of worth it anyway.
Absolutely. Well, it's going to be exciting. That's for sure. You know, I actually do have a couple more articles if you want to see some of those that I pulled out.
I think I got time for like one more.
Okay, that sounds good.
But since this one was a lot shorter than last time, we could probably do another one maybe pretty soon.
Hey, that sounds good to me. Absolutely.
Because I always have so much fun doing stuff like this, and obviously you're great to talk to.
And I appreciate it, and you too. I mean, I have unbelievable amounts of fun talking with you on here. I mean,
thanks, man.
Man, it's just truth, honestly. Like, I couldn't like when I have people on. Sometimes the conversations can like kind of drag down a little bit, but I never feel the conversation even come close to dying whenever we do one of these. So
you just got so much to say.
I try to.
Yeah, show me one more of these articles, and then we'll discuss that, and then I'll probably hang out for like another 15 minutes, and then I gotta get going because I woke up at like 6 a.m. Had to go to my aunt's, help her move all this stuff because my grandpa's moving back into his house. He'd been staying with his brother who died back in, I want to say September or August last year. So he finally sold that house, so he's moving back in. So they had to like prep and move all this stuff. They built a deck. They finished the carpeting. Is like they got the fake wood stuff instead of the carpet, and like I had to help out a ton. And then I had to head over to my friend's house after that. Got home at like 12:30, and I was like, all right, I guess I could do a stream because I said I would, but I'm really tired.
Oh, man, I'm sorry about that. We could have rescheduled.
No, man, it's all good because I'm one of those people, I'm like, if I said I was going to do it, then I got to do it. The only issue was that I did not expect to wake up at 6 a.m. It was one of those, you know, like when you're like, man, I'm going to get full nights of sleep, and then you just wake up and you're just like, all right, I'm up and I can't go back to sleep. So It was one of those days.
Oh, man. Yeah, see, it's whenever I go to bed here, I go to bed at 6 a.m. I actually have to be at work tomorrow, and that's when I start my... Oh, actually, tomorrow I have a 4-day, unless they make me do a full 12 again. And then I work...
this face wasn't for you. I just saw that picture of freaking Justin Bieber with the mustache.
Oh, he looks like... Oh, man.
He looks like a freaking weirdo.
I was gonna... I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna straight up say pedophile. But
if he had the glasses, I could see it. He almost looks like he would work like at a gas station.
I could see that.
Like it is a very unflattering mustache for his face.
It really is. It's gross. He shouldn't have done it. Mistakes were made that day, without a doubt. Yeah.
So what exactly is this article about? Because I'm really intrigued right now.
Actually, I have a couple of them, so I'm going to let you pick one, actually. So this one is Billie Eilish's parents almost sent her to therapy over Justin Bieber's As Long As You Love Me. This one here is I brought this one up because I just thought it was kind of hilarious. Florida man trapped along with hundreds of parrots.
What?
Nurgle, you know who Nurgle is, right?
I know Nurgle is one of the final bosses of Fire Emblem.
Nice.
I've never heard of this actual...
I think this is a more serious article. So Nurgle he's in the band Behemoth.
Okay.
And apparently he is in court defending himself against blasphemy charges.
what is blasphemy like in today's world?
More or less, it's still the same thing as a bunch of Christians are pissed off that they make with Satan music.
Okay, so it's like, that's blasphemous!
Exactly. And
Okay.
they're actually legitimately trying to charge him for it, criminally,
Okay.
which is very messed up. Trivium was bullied because of early hype. No bands liked us.
What?
What a weak argument. I think it's hilarious.
Wait, hold on. So Trivium was bullied because of early hype? What does that even mean?
That's a good question. I didn't read any of these articles. I figured we'd have fun, read them together, and just kind of have a laugh at some of them, or go into something more serious, at the same time. And I think finally this is the last one. This was also a more serious one. Lamb of God's Randy Blythe. Graffitied Confederate statues belong in museums.
So he said he's trying to say that the statues that are getting like messed up should be in museums.
I believe so. I think that's what he's trying to say. I think he's making the more centrist kind of argument.
Yeah, like the one you were talking about earlier. Yeah,
exactly.
I wouldn't expect him to do that. Interesting.
So which one sounds more enticing to you?
I am torn between the Billie Eilish one because I want to know why her parents almost sent her to therapy. Yeah. But I'm also intrigued about this guy stuck in there with parrots.
The guy stuck in parrots also sounds super interesting too. Both of them.
Those are the two, because the Randy one I can see, the Nurgle one I guess I can see, the Trivium one. That's just weird to me. Like, ooh,
yeah,
our fans used to bully us.
Actually, I think it was other bands used to bully him or something like that. And it's just like, who gives a shit? Like,
yeah, it's like, yeah, okay, but you're famous now. Like, you already
right,
gave them all the finger, dude.
And everyone, like most people, like Trivium. I'm not the biggest fan of their music, but I find quite a few songs of them that I like.
Yeah,
I'm not a I'm gonna buy every single album that they have kind of person.
No, but I like if I were just listening to random stuff on YouTube and Trivium came up, I'd be like, oh, Trivium, like,
right? Exactly.
They're one of those bands.
Exactly. It's kind of like I used to be a major Metallica fan, but now it's kind of like, oh, cool, Metallica. I know them.
Oh, dude.
You know what I mean?
Quick side note. I've got a video coming out in September. So what I do now on Hungry Covers is I take one night and film like 5 or 6 covers.
Nice.
And then I upload them like once a month. So I have enough videos to last me all the way to like the end of or beginning of October, I think now.
Oh, nice.
But so every like 20 or 30 videos, I switch sweater vests. So the ending one for this vest combo I've got right now is going to be a cover of Saint Anger by Metallica. Because
oh man, do it.
I was like, what a great way to make people upset, because it's a Metallica cover, but it's also the song everyone hates. But I didn't want to do the full version, but I also didn't want to do the version on YouTube, like the music video version, because I was like, I don't want the talking in the beginning and stuff like that. So I took the full version, put it into Cubase, and I edited it the whole thing down to fit the short version of it, because I just couldn't find the short version to save my life. And it was so much work just to do a Saint Anger cover. And then I go out of my way to overperform it and get super into it, just so people are like, but it's Saint Anger, dude. Why?
You know what's crazy about what all you just told me?
What?
You effectively pretty much admitted that you just put more work into Saint Anger than Metallica did.
Dude, I love that album. I won't say it's my favorite album. I think my favorite album is either the Black Album or Injustice for All.
I love the Black Album.
But I'd say Saint Anger might be number 3. I really like that. It's just like freaking frantic. Oh my gosh. The frantic, tick, 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 tick. I'm just like, oh, this is so bad that I love it.
Yeah. Have you ever heard it properly mixed? There's a guy on YouTube who does it.
No, because the thing is, I actually like the mix.
I'm not kidding,
I think I'm
though.
a rare breed. I'm not kidding. I love the snare.
Oh,
I know
really?
everyone's like the freaking trash can snare, but like I'm in a band with Max Portnoy.
Well, right.
He pings the crap. Like when we were in the studio back in January, he went out of his way. He bought like I think 5 or 6 snare heads, and he would make them as tight as possible to get that like freaking basketball like ping sound. And he would change his snare head after every song just so that the album would consistently have the tightest possible snare ever.
So the actual snare they use, though, doesn't really sound like that.
Really?
It's a mixing thing that he did. Lars ended up taking full control, and that's why most people don't like that snare sound. When Max does it, you can hear everything that microphone picks up.
Okay, so Lars went out of his way to make his snare sound like that.
Yes.
I still like it.
And the worst part about it, though, of what he did is he took the bass player and muted him.
I was going to say the bass is non-existent.
Right.
In that album.
And it's like, what was the point in recording bass tracks?
So it's literally muted? It's not just quiet? I always just thought it was mixed really quiet.
Well, you can't hear it whenever you're listening to it, so I do say muted. I don't know that for a fact, but I've tried listening to it and cranking bass, and I can't hear any bass at all. So I would guess that it's muted, but they say that he mixed it so low that you can't hear it.
I mean, I can't say, but I do love the snare. I love the kick. I love the guitars just sound so sloppy, and I like the way the vocals are mixed. It's just like everything about it. I was like, this is so not Metallica, but I like it. I have a thing for those raw mixes, and I think that's why I like it.
No, absolutely. I definitely understand that. You should check out the guy that mixes them with the, as he calls it, the Metallica mix.
I'm really curious what it sounds like with the actual like Metallica mix now.
Well, you can actually hear all the instruments together, and when you listen to it, a lot of people are like, when they listen to it, he ended up tricking some people and going, "Hey, check out this new Metallica song," and they're like, "Oh, this is sick." And then he, revealed, by the way, this is Alf St. Anger.
It's
and
just
people are just like,
Stems
what?
Remastered? Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
So the main problem, believe it or not, that most people had with it, a lot of people thought they just hated the album. But as it turned out, they couldn't put their finger on it, really, because a lot of people really didn't know. But most people just hated the mix.
Really?
And that's why it doesn't sound like Metallica. I mean, it is Metallica doing it, and it's like, how can Metallica make an album that doesn't sound like Metallica?
Really?
But
I don't know. I liked it a lot. Like, man, when he does the double bass with that mix, I'm just like, what am I listening to? This does not sound like a kick drum, and I love it.
Well, it is, I would definitely give it, I can definitely tell you like a lot of industrial music.
I don't, actually.
Oh, really?
Well, I won't say I don't like it, but I've never really been like a huge Nine Inch Nails fan. I used to listen to Godflesh, but I'm not sure if they count as industrial.
Godflesh, well, they're a lot like Flesh God Apocalypse, right?
No, they're more like, because isn't Flesh God Apocalypse kind of like death metal-y?
They are, but they have those choirs and stuff in it, and I thought oh wait, I'm thinking of Septic Flesh.
No, Godflesh, if you look up, what's the name of that freaking song?
What's up with people in flesh?
Godflesh.
Flesh God Apocalypse, Godflesh, Septic Flesh.
Let me skip around. Yeah. They're kind of like old. They remind me of Napalm Death, but industrial. Like if you took that and fused it with industrial, that's what I'm hearing with Godflesh.
See, I thought you'd be more into like Korn and stuff like that as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess Korn's technically considered new metal.
New metal, and they got that industrial kind of feel to them too.
Yeah, I do. I used to really like Korn. I did really like Korn's new album. I didn't think I would because I didn't really like Slipknot's new album. And then when I heard, oh, you know what? Here's why. Godflesh's album, what's it called? Hymns. That's the only God Smash. That's the only Godflesh album I listened to was Hymns, and that one is a lot more like, I don't know. Like, if you here, I'll send it to you. Like, this was my favorite song, but it definitely sounds
nice.
very very industrial. Their other stuff is a lot more metal, but this album just had a very interesting sound.
Okay, let me just real quick kind of.
Think they would sound.
I
But
see.
yeah, Slipknot's new album, I liked a couple songs off it. But Korn's new album, Max played it for me in the car, and I was just like, this sounds like old Korn, but heavier.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I've heard this song before too.
Yeah, it's a fun song.
Nice. Yeah, I really like it.
I think Godflesh actually used to be on Earache Records.
You know, that wouldn't be too surprising. Who was it that I found that was on Earache Records that blew my mind?
Bring Me the Horizon was on them.
That's right, they were.
Like early, like I think it was the album with Pray for Plagues on it.
I think who didn't I send you somebody that was on it and I was like, "Holy crap, like this
You
band was
might
on
have.
it." Shoot.
I think Napalm Death was on there. It might still be on there. I'm actually not sure. Clutch was. That surprised me. I think maybe At the Gates was. I'm not 100% sure about that.
Oh, so that's right. The Haunted is At the Gates, but with Ola England.
Oh, okay.
And he filled in for one of their shows as well, playing bass for him.
That's cool.
Yeah, so Ola England, yeah, you would love his YouTube channel, I bet. He does a lot of gear reviews, and he interviews people. He calls it Coffee with Ola. He interviews people like Tosin Abasi and a bunch of
love
legendary.
him. Oh my gosh. I think he's my favorite guitar player.
One of the videos that he did that blew my mind wasn't even him necessarily. He was showing off his Abasi guitars that came out. Mm-hmm. And it was John Mayer, I believe. Like
John Mayer?
He's shredding on one of the Abasi guitars.
Oh
and
yeah,
it just shows
I
his
always
fingers.
forget. John Mayer is insane at guitar.
Yeah, he's just sitting there shredding, and the camera slowly zooms out, and it's John Mayer, and we were like, "What?" And so now John Mayer is an Abasi guitar player too. They made him a custom Telecaster.
Oh, that's my next guitar. I got the Strat, and now I want a Telly.
Tellies are cool. I almost said Tala and Telly at the same time. So you could call it a Telecaster.
A Telecaster. Yeah. Oh, if only I played guitar in Tala.
Oh,
actually,
man.
I think our old guitarist AJ. I actually think he might have had a single coil Strat.
Nice.
I'm not sure. Let me look. I know. Oh man, I got to do some digging now in my own channel.
Well, now you got to hit your Strat up against his and see which one was the better Strat.
No, his was like this obnoxious, like seafoam green color.
Nice.
I remember somebody talked about it in one of the comments was like, this guy is playing freaking new metal, like drop A new metal with a Fender Strat.
Hey, whatever gets the job done. Nothing wrong with that.
Here it is. I gotta see if all right, no, so it's not single coil. It's a Fender. Actually, is that a Strat? That looks like a Telecaster. It's hard to tell because he's a left-handed guitar player. Okay, it's a hybrid. Okay. So it's got the humbucker, but it's got the single coil, which I always forget. It's got the single coil on the neck and the humbucker on the bridge.
I think, I actually think they're all, I thought Telecasters all had a humbucker in the bridge and a single in the neck.
I can't tell if it's a Telecaster. I'm looking at the head right now. I can't tell if it's a Telecaster or a Stratocaster. Like there's not a full shot. It might be a Telecaster. You might be. Yeah, I think you're right. Okay, yeah, it is a Telecaster. Okay. Yeah, that's a Telecaster body for sure.
Tellies are cool.
I mistook it. I thought it was. Yeah, when I played one, for the last year, I had this crisis where I was like, I don't know if I want to get a Strat or a Telly, and I can only get one right now. So then I was like, well, maybe I could get one of those like 3 pickup or the split pickup or not split pickup. The 3 pickup Tellys. So I was like, where it's like the 3. But it's the Strat. It's the Telly body, but it's got the Fender kind of the Strat pickups, and I was like, oh, I kind of want to get one of those, but then I was like, nah, but maybe I could just like, so what I ended up doing was looking at both, and then I was like, whichever one just has a better color is the one I'm going to get, and I happened to find that one I showed you, and I was like, I'm getting this one then.
Nice, man, and that was a good choice too. I mean, that's
It's fun. I love it to death.
man, absolutely. That is a beautiful guitar. I wish I didn't get rid of mine, honestly.
I love it. Once that's paid off, though, I'm definitely gonna get a Telly. Like, cause I've always been like a Fender guy. My first electric guitar was a Fernandez, which I think was like a split off of Fender.
Oh, okay.
But it was the silver Fernandez. It sounded like crap. But I was like, yeah, electric guitar. I'm 11 years old.
I've been there. Without a doubt. On the, oh man, I had a Squire. And I changed out it was the most cringy thing. I changed out the pick guard for a flame pick guard. So it looked like flames all over it. Yeah, it was so...
Yeah.
Oh man, and it was just awful.
Yep.
Just awful.
I remember when I was, I want to say 13, back when you had like the guitar magazines and you had to order out of the magazines, my mom's like, you can pick any guitar you want within like this price range. And of course, I'm like 12 or 13 years old, so I pick a BC Rich Warlock. And like, I was like, yeah, this guitar is so cool. And by the time I was like 15, I was like, this guitar is shit. I want to get rid of it and get something better.
Right. You want me to, I'm going to one-up you on the cringe here when it comes to those guitar magazines.
How are you going to one-up a BC? It was a black BC Rich Warlock.
Oh,
There's
I'll tell
no
you.
way you can.
I'll tell you exactly how. I'm in one of those guitar magazines, Guitar World.
You're in one?
I am in one. And I won a Guitar World competition. It's nothing special. All I did was put my name in a ballot. And they sent me a $600 Mexican Fender Strat. Beautiful guitar.
I was going to get one of those.
They played so well. And it wasn't so much of what happened and how I got into the magazine and all that was cringe. It was the picture that I uploaded to the magazine, people.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I am at the lake, and I was like, I want to do the most epic picture possible. So I go out to a little rock island.
How old were you?
I was probably 15.
Oh, yes. I'm so ready for this.
Exactly. It was as cringy as you think it is. I was it was in the middle of the lake, on a rock all by itself, out in the middle of the water, and I'm straight up, let me, hold on, So I am on the rock, I am holding the guitar in one hand, and I'm going like this, holding it out, doing a wide leg stance, like you could see all of me. In these old beat up shorts, and I think I'm wearing a Behemoth shirt or a Pantera shirt. I can't remember exactly which one. And my hair's all flowing in the wind, and it is the most cringy picture ever. I really wish I have those magazines at my parents' house, I think. I will have to snatch one, and next time we do a stream, I will show you that.
Yeah, I want to see this.
It is hilariously cringy. And
it's
I
one
look
of those
at that
things.
picture. It is, because I look at one of those that picture, and I'm like, how many people bought this particular issue of magazine and saw that?
Probably a lot more than you want.
And it uses my full name. Yeah.
That's one of those pictures where it's like, man, like, if freaking, like, Steve Vai did it, it would be cool.
Right.
But
I do it. Nobody knows who I am. I am just a 15-year-old kid that won a guitar in a competition that wasn't even really a competition. Yeah. It was a drawing. And yeah, I'm on a rock.
I love that.
It was, at the time, the coolest thing ever. And then about a year later, I was looking at it, and I was like, I wish I had done drugs, because at least I would have had an excuse for why this picture was so stupid. Oh, yeah, I was just smoking meth. That's why. Oh, okay, you get a pass. Oh, you weren't on drugs. You were completely sober, never did drugs before in your life, and you did that? And I was just like, I'll just tell people I was smoking crack.
See, that's why I'm glad that I'm like a little nuts, you know? Because I'm like, man, like, if anything ever happens, people are just going to be like, oh, yeah, I know him. That's Justin, the guy from... Yeah, he's a freaking psycho. Don't worry about it. Like, anything he says, anything he does, like, just like, yeah, he said that, and, like, you know, that's usually it's offensive if people say that, but, no, he's tapped. Don't worry about it.
Well, in all fairness, you have a YouTube career, and when people look at you now, they're like, we know who that guy is. I was 15, and There was no context to that. They were like, who's this kid think he is?
Dude, you're the guy who won the drawing.
Exactly. I'm like, hey, did you win a drawing? Did you
That's
put all
right.
that blood, sweat,
That's
and
when you
tears
gotta
into
flip
putting that
it.
paper in?
You gotta flip it on him and be like, hey, listen, it might be a cringy picture, but I don't see your picture in that magazine.
Exactly. Oh man, I'm gonna have to find that picture now for sure.
Dude,
That's hilarious.
don't send it to me. Surprise me the next time I come on the stream. I want the live reaction.
That sounds good to me. Absolutely. I will absolutely do that.
But yeah, man, I think I'm going to have to cut this. I'm getting pretty tired. I
Oh,
can
it's all
already
good,
see
man.
my eyes are starting to like, I can see in the thing. I'm like, oh yeah, my eyes look tiny. It looks like I'm starting to fall apart.
No, you're
But-
totally good. We'll have to hit up those articles like that later on.
Yeah, I'm really curious about that parrot one. So I kind of want you to save that for next time as well.
Absolutely. I'm gonna bookmark
Because I'm just
it.
like, what is that? But yeah, this one was shorter. So if you want to do another one, like maybe like in like a couple weeks or something, I'd be down.
Man, that sounds good. Whenever you're ready, whenever you want to, anytime, man. Anytime. I will make time
Sweet.
for it.
All right,
Absolutely.
sweet. All right, man. So take care. I'm gonna head out. But dude, send me this stream when it's uploaded so I can, just share it around.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate it, man. It was great talking with you. Great as always.
Yeah, man. So yeah, dude, you're just awesome. I definitely would I enjoy having these conversations and I like the content. So I totally will hop on, whenever I can.
Man, I appreciate that. And like I said, I was going to mention this earlier, man. So I'm doing, I work a job now where I probably can't say any of this out loud, really. Let's just say I am able to listen to music, and I've been blaring Red Light like crazy. That's like one of my favorite songs right now.
Oh man, wait till you hear the new mix.
I've been digging Silo as well.
Yeah, so the Silo and we just like I said, we redid We the Sad. So the Silo is the one that's what the album mix is gonna be. So if you
Nice.
imagine Red Light with that mix, it's gonna be nice because the whole thing was it was recorded. What was it? Recorded, mixed, and produced by Josh Stroder. So he's the
Okay.
guy that did King 810 and Varials.
That's why I've heard that name.
Yeah,
Wow,
he
okay.
is very good at what he does. We were so happy with it. But like the EP version of the songs, Max's snare is actually a MIDI sample because the original snare tone was just very like pingy, but the guy like had Max down tune it, so it's like a weird ping. So the guy Evan something was the guy who mixed the EP version, and we loved that mix too. But when Josh redid it, he managed to like get the ping out, like make it sound the way Max wanted it. And just like the guitars are like they're bigger now. The bass got reamped, so the bass was like boom now. And then I was
Nice.
actually very impressed that my vocals, he was able to match them to the studio vocals because I recorded the vocals for the EP stuff at home, like in my little booth. You can see it
Yeah.
right there.
Oh,
So I
man,
recorded
nice.
those at home in the booth, like on my $200 mic, and then all the like new stuff, like the Silo, was recorded in the studio on this way more expensive mic, and he was able to get them very, very close. I was like, wow, I am impressed because that was my biggest concern. I was like, maybe I should bring my mic or something.
Nice. Then that's actually really good. Like,
It was cool.
Man, Varials in general, what a fantastic band.
Oh, I love them. When I found out their singer left, I was so distraught because I was like, dude, he's like one of the reasons I listened to that band because his voice is so. It was the mix and his voice was such a nice, like it was just so pleasing to my ears. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they announced who their new vocalist is yet, but I'm very curious who's going to replace him.
I'm gonna have to check that out then. I'm sure the band knows that fans what they like, and I bet they try to find someone that will fit the part well.
I would assume so. I know they did that with what's that? Not Slaughter to Prevail. What is that band? Lorna Shore.
Lorna Shore, I have not listened to that one.
They had CJ something on vocals. That guy is disgusting. He's an insane screamer. I saw him live and I was just like, what the heck is coming out of that guy's mouth? But he got caught up in some stuff, so the band let him go. And I believe they replaced him with somebody who is equally as gifted. And I was like, all right, all right. So I'm hoping that Varials will do the same thing if they haven't done it already.
Nice. I have them, let's see. I have them saved now. Ha! I'm going to check them out.
They're
Because
fun.
I have not checked that band out.
And they're interesting because their first album, or I don't know if it's their first album, but it's their album Pain Again was very hardcore. Like it's just like they were a hardcore band. Their newest stuff, which was still with the original singer, almost has like a Deftones feel to it. Like there's a lot of clean parts, and the guy, like the vocalist, does some clean singing, and I was just like, oh, this is cool. And funny story before I go, the singer, there's something about the mix where when I'm listening to it, I'm like, it sounds like he's like, and I was like, so we're at the studio, and I was like, Josh, I have a question for you. You engineered Varials. Why does it sound like the singer was like inhaling the mic? Because I like it. It sounds cool, but I'm curious. And he goes, oh, because he was. And I was like, what? He was like, yeah, when he does, so this is, Josh is so accommodating. He's like, yeah, I want the vocalist to be as comfortable as possible. And he felt more comfortable with a handheld mic. And he showed me the mic. He's like, I gave him this mic, and he was just running around there, cupping the mic, just like doing his thing. And that's just what he did. So I was just like, all right, cool. Like, awesome job, man.
Interesting.
But it was just cracked me up.
I think you actually did tell me that before.
I might have.
That was them. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, oh man, I love them so much. But I just remember, I was just like, always curious because everyone's like, I'd show them Varials and they're like, man, I don't know about the way the vocals are mixed. Like it sounds like very spitty. It sounds like he's just like
yeah.
And Josh is just like, because he was like, that's what he wanted to do. And I was just like, oh, good job. Because he made that sound great. Like, I don't know. Again, I'm a guy, I like when things are mixed kind of weird, but I love that mix so much. So when I found out that Josh was going to do Tala, I was just like,
nice. I do gotta bring this up. Bering actually just commented in here. He's like, dude, cupping the mic is like the best move ever. Engineers love it. But I have to introduce you to Bering. Oh man, you gotta check out his channel. He's hilarious.
I'll check him out.
But I need to introduce you to like in a stream sometime and like you should talk with this guy. He's absolutely unbelievably hilarious. I think you would enjoy it.
Right. I love the sarcasm. Dude,
Absolutely.
I tried to explain this to, so I was in this other band and I was playing guitar and doing backup vocals and like, you know, I'm like a vocalist. So
Yeah.
the actual front man of the band he liked to cup. And I was just like, dude, you can't do that. And he's like, why? Like, there's not even a sound difference. And I actually had to like get him like, and I'm like sent him videos of people who are like talking like this into the mic and then talking like this into the mic. And it's just like, do you not hear how much it changes, how much even just doing this changes the sound? It's like,
exactly.
But he's just like, no, man, it's totally different. It's just like, I remember I went to this local show and every single band, the screamers sounded like, and I was just like, the only band that didn't sound like that was the one where the guy, his mic technique was to hold it like a comedian. He held it like this and I could hear everything he said. And I was just like, it's almost like cupping the mic changes the way your vocals sound.
Exactly.
That's so interesting.
Absolutely. But I mean, I imagine some people, it's very rare type of person that can make that sound good. But
no, the only time in my opinion, the only time cupping the mic sounds good is when you do those like the cricket gutturals. Because when you do them without cupping, you get that sound, but when you cup it, you get and it adds this distortion on top of it, and it's like that sounds cool. But when you like, it's just like it's a different. The same with like just normal gutturals. Like you've got versus it's just like, but like normal screams don't sound good. But when you do those really deep like kind of gutturals, it's just like, oh, that sounds better when you cup it. But not if the whole song is like that. It's like that guy Bering said. He says,
Yeah.
it's like singing in a cardboard box versus not singing in a cardboard box.
Exactly. And Bering, he actually has a music channel too.
Oh,
And
cool!
dude's fantastic at engineering his own music. Like,
I definitely am interested in that.
he makes fantastic music, but man, he really knows how to hone in his mix and just good stuff. He's a total gear nerd when it comes down to it.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Send me his channel. I'm trying to click on it right now, and I can't click on his name.
YouTube got rid of that. It's
That's really stupid. That's so inconvenient.
It's really dumb. But yeah, I'll send you his channel here right here. And his videos are
thank you.
unbelievably hilarious. Unbelievably
All right.
hilarious.
I'm subscribing. Hold on, I gotta get out of Tala's channel and subscribe on my channel.
You should subscribe your whole band to him.
Just hey guys, we're officially subscribed to this guy. But I'm very, very curious. Oh wow, yeah, this guy's got gay or nay. I already can tell I'm gonna like this guy.
Oh, it's
problematic,
hilarious.
offensive food.
Exactly.
I'm cracking up just from the thumbnails and the titles.
Yeah, he's top notch quality.
This guy seems like a lot of fun.
Absolutely, and you could see in the chat, humble as hell.
Oh, this guy's got 538,000 subs. Jeez, I never would have guessed that. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you just got a new fan just based off of 2 comments and some titles and thumbnails.
Absolutely,
All right.
you two would get along pretty well. And man, I mean, don't cut yourself short either. You have a huge audience as well.
It's getting there. It's definitely getting there. It's not as big as I would like it to be, but I'm honestly, so the whole COVID thing, like I really got to get to go. My eyes are freaking dying right now.
No,
like they're
I
starting
totally
to burn.
understand.
But the COVID thing, I will say one great thing that came from it is that it got me back into YouTube. Like I was like, I'm sitting at home all day. I might as well start making videos again. So I've been very present again on every channel but Hungry Lights because I'm just like, I'm not ready to make content on that channel yet. But I probably will soon because I've been teaching vocal lessons since March, and I'm like, I should probably make some stuff to promote those soon. So,
Man, for sure.
That'll
I'll definitely
help.
be checking that out as well.
It's fun. I think I have 30 students right now.
Nice.
So, but I space it out. I'm like, all right, like do a lesson like if you're gonna do multiple lessons, do it like every 2 weeks. So it kind of rotates how many people are doing a lesson per week. So that's nice. But so far, I don't think I've had anyone who hasn't learned something, so it's great. But it's difficult because I expected a lot of intermediate people who just wanted to learn how to scream better to do the lessons. But so far, it's been all people who have no idea what they're doing and people who want to learn how to sing. So I was like, all right, I wasn't prepared for this. So it actually made me have to really dive deeper into the way the human voice works. And I spent I spent the last 6 months because I got the idea to do vocal lessons in February. But the last 6 months, I have been like just studying the voice, watching all these other vocal coaches and how they're teaching their people and just like going deep into it because I'm like, I also want to be prepared because I'm like, well, what happens if like someone wants to test me? Like they're actually a really good vocalist and they just want to be like, does this guy know what he's talking about? So I'm like, I have to learn all the terminology. And now like when I watch my how to scream tutorial back, I'm like, this has almost 3 million views and I had no idea what I was talking about. I'm like 5 years ago, it's literally just me like, hey, like just make this noise. And I'm like, I'm not teaching you how to project that. I'm not teaching you I'm not even telling you if it's false chord or fry or guttural compression or like glottal, any of that. I'm just like, or glottal compression, not guttural compression, but I'm just like, this video has almost 3 million views and I have no fucking idea what I'm talking about. I'm like, if I made this tutorial now, this would be a completely different tutorial. So it's just very funny.
Probably. I mean, I would imagine some people got something from it. I
Yeah,
mean,
like because it's
for
not
sure.
like I'm an idiot, but it's like I don't really talk about the safety. I don't talk about where the projection come from. I don't even talk about like layered streams. Like a little piece of information. This has been my last piece of information, but most people who come to me for vocal lessons, they want to learn how to do like the mid screams I do, which is just that typical like yeah kind of mid. And
Nice.
there are three things going on at once. And like I'm like, you don't even know how to scream and you want to learn this complicated thing. Because it's this thing called glottal compression, which is just that ah sound. But then underneath that, there's this thing, it's called like guttural clicking. And it's just that sound I was showing you earlier.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, there's fry overtones, which is just like a pure fry scream. It's just like a ah kind of sound. There's no voice in it. So when you do all three together, you get yeah, which is like it sounds like such a cool thing. It's like, oh, that's a mid. Like, you know, you got your whole
Nice.
ah! But when you strip the layers out of it and you listen, you hear yeah! Like you got fry overtones,
Nice.
guttural undertones, and this like mixed voice. So mixed voice as well, it's another thing. But I'm just like sitting here and I'm like, I'm telling people to just go ah in the tutorial, and that's how you get it. But in reality, I'm like, no, when I finally learned how to dissect my voice, this is a very, very complicated thing that I'm trying to get people to do in this video, but I did not know at the time.
Nice. Man, when I have you on next time, do you know how to do the Devin Townsend-y kind of like fry scream? Like where there's still his voice in it?
Let me listen. Oh wait, is it the one where you just go into a fry scream and put your voice back into it? So it's like like you like have
that's pretty close actually. You can hear more of his voice in it, but
it's hard to do that. It's very hard to do that. Let me try it. Hold on. Like it's like my cat's freaking out. It's really hard to do that if it's what I'm thinking of, because it's like it's a fry scream, but you insert your voice like as an undertone if it's what I'm thinking of. Does he do it in Devin Townsend Project?
Oh yes, he does it like in the song Kingdom. He does it in the live version of Deadhead. Oh my god, those songs are amazing. But it's like the way he does it is it's mostly his voice, and then there's this fry undertone that gives it this it's not like the Gojira way. It's like almost if you were to do it the opposite.
Okay, hold on. Let me hear this. Do you know what part of the song he does it at? Dude, he's such a good vocalist.
Yeah, he is. I don't even understand.
Yeah. So he's doing what I just did, but he's doing it with a little bit less fry. My voice is tired because yesterday was my friend's birthday and I read 7 chapters of my book out loud and did all the voices, and it took like 5 hours, so my voice is a little shot.
Ooh.
But I think he's doing that like kind of like it's really hard because you have to do a pure fry scream. So you have to remove your voice to get the pure fry. And then, because like when I do it, when I just go like, yeah, like it's glottal compression with a fry overtone. So what he's doing is he's going into that fry like vocal break, like that, and then projecting just the crackles. So you get, but then he's adding his voice back underneath it. So it's a very complicated thing that he's doing as well.
That is amazing to actually hear that broken down. Because even, like...
That's what's so fun about learning it. Like, now I'm like, I can take any vocalist and I'm like, okay, here's what he's doing. Because there really are only 4 types of rasp. You have that glottal compression. My freaking cat. She does not like when I scream. So you've got glottal compression, or, glottal compression, which is like what Chester Bennington did.
Oh,
like
right,
he's got that, I've given up! It's not fry, it's glottal compression. James Hetfield did it, like, Master! Corey Taylor did it, but he fucked up his voice doing it when he did that, like, I did my time! It's because he did it lower, and glottal compression, when you do it low, is dangerous because your cords can't handle it as well. And then you've got Sully Erna from Godsmack. I stand alone! So all those people are doing it. It's a type of rasp, but it's not a scream. It's just it's just you're compressing the epiglottis to the point where it starts to make that noise. So
Okay.
that's the first type of rasp. Then you've got fry rasp, which is just that kind of sound, but then you project that, and you can either push it the way I push it and get that yeah, or you can push it the way Devin Townsend pushes it and get the more of that kind of thing.
Okay.
Then there's false chord, which is that just like kind of sound. But with false chord, my false chord sounds different because I'm adding fry overtones to that as well. So like a pure false chord would be more like, but you can hear mine's more because I have the fry on top of the false chord as well. People don't think you can do both at the same time. You totally can if you know how to do overtones. So, but with, then you've also got the, I don't really know what it's called. It's a type of compression, but I call it guttural clicking. But it's when you just, it's not fry, because fry is more like, this is,
Okay.
it's when you take your note and you compress it to the point like, and then you take that and just project that noise and you get, so
Oh.
those are the 4 types of rasp, and you can do so much with those 4 types. So knowing that those are really the only 4 types, when I hear a vocalist, I'm like, I'm pretty sure he's doing this with this, and like you just have to listen for the overtones and the undertones, because that's
Okay.
really what makes the scream so great. Is like just having these extra layers. Like you could do a false chord scream with these guttural undertones and fry overtones, and like that's why I found out why when people watch my covers, they're like, I can't tell if he's doing false chord or fry. It's because I'm doing it all. Like I'm
Man.
I'm doing everything. So it's like the answer is yes.
Holy crap. Yeah, next time you come on, I'm gonna be digging into that. Just letting you know.
It's
that
fun, dude. It's fun.
my musical nerd stuff is like coming out, and I'm just like, more.
It's dude. I next time we do it. Like it's so much fun analyzing what these vocalists do, because I also hear about vocalists like Danny Worsnop, and people are like, yeah, he ruined his voice, blah blah blah, because of this. But when I listen to his technique, I'm like, no, he had good technique. He ruined his voice because he was a party guy. He drank a lot. He smoked a
Right.
lot. I don't know if he did drugs, but what the biggest thing that kills your voice as a vocalist actually isn't bad technique. It's talking too much.
And that's another person who did it by partying, actually. Phil Anselmo. He did not
Phil
ruin his...
Anselmo.
Yeah.
Who's he
Pantera.
again? Pantera, yes.
He used to be able to do these crazy highs, and he could also scream and do all that. And a lot of people were like, "Oh man, he blew his voice out." And it's like, no, it was just like a lot of drugs and heroin. And
Drugs, partying, smoking too much, even drinking too much. If you do shots all the time, that'll start to.
ugh.
But it's the talking is what does it in. It, like, because you think about it, like I said, my voice is hoarse just because yesterday I was reading and doing all these fun voices and stuff, and teaching vocal lessons all week. So by the time Wednesday came around, like 7 days later, I was like, I'm a little hoarse today, and I haven't even been doing screaming vocals. It's just from talking, because you tire out your voice. But when you think about the logic behind, oh man, this guy fucked up his voice, it's like, all right, you're on tour for 30 days.
Right.
So it's like you have a show every day for 30 days. If in the first week you're at these venues for sometimes 8 hours a day, and you're talking to people, you're not talking to them the way I'm talking to you. There's loud music playing. So when the fans come up to you, you're like, yeah, man, thank you so much. It was you like the show? And that's just
Right.
yelling. You're just projecting for 8 hours a day. And then you go on stage. Even if your technique is perfect, you're going to tap out after about 2 weeks of doing that crap.
Oh man.
So what I do when I go on tour, because I'm like, my technique is very good, but I learned very quickly that if you talk too much, your voice starts to get hoarse. And you can't, there's the only ways to get it back is to not talk. Not talking is the only way to really recover. Like people are like, oh yeah, drink tea with honey. No, when you drink tea, you swallow tea. It doesn't actually touch your vocal cords.
Right.
So it's like it might relax your throat, but it's like, unless you're screaming like it's not gonna actually help. What helps is not using your vocal cords, getting a lot of rest, staying hydrated, and actually taking really long hot showers, because breathing in the steam is really good for your vocal cords.
Absolutely. I don't want to keep you for too much longer, but I do just want to say I think you need to make a PSA about that, because I never really knew that about the talking and stuff all the time. And that explains why singers will be like, and just kind of blow you off and walk off. And
Bro. Where is it? Bro, I legit, because I know fans want to talk to me and I never want to be rude. So what I did, I started doing this before COVID, but I would wear a mask, and because then they can't see my face, but then I have this little thing I wear around my neck that says I can't speak. And I would do this because I'm like, going to be on tour for 30 days. I don't want to blow out my voice. Even if my technique is good, I know that talking to fans is what kills people's voices, because you're in these venues for because it's like you're there, every band's playing a 30-minute set plus these 15-minute turnover times. And if there's sometimes 7 bands playing, plus you get there early, plus you're there a little bit after. So you're usually in the venue for 6 to 8 hours. And fans want to come talk to you, especially if you don't have your own merch person. And I'm like, I need to find a way that I can tell people I don't want to talk without being rude.
Right.
So I still will sit there. I'm like, I'll listen to you, I'll gesticulate things, but I'm like, but I'm not going to speak, because the thing is, when you're on tour, even like I said, even if your technique is great, the only way to properly heal your voice is by not using it. So it's like you either have to not talk all day and just save it for preventative action, or you have to, if your voice starts to get hoarse, again, not talk and just let people know, like, I'm trying to bring it back. So what I do is I just don't talk that much. Sometimes I'll talk to my bandmates, like, after the show's over and it's in the quiet, but I'll usually just speak like, like this, like at a very soft volume, because it's not that my voice is getting hoarse from bad technique. It's that I'm like, hey, this is the first week. We still have 3 weeks to go. And if you do get vocal strain when you're on tour, it's just slowly goes downhill, because the more strained you get, the more inflamed your vocal cords get, the more you overuse your voice, the more they're going to stay inflamed. And it's just a downward spiral until suddenly you're like M Shadows and have to cancel the tour because you can't sing. And it's like the best way to avoid that is to just take preemptive measures and just like, hey, I know you guys want to talk to me. I'm the vocalist, but I've got 4 weeks of shows to do. I need to take care. Like, it's my instrument. Your voice is your instrument. So you hear about people like Corey Taylor doesn't talk a lot, M Shadows doesn't talk a lot. There are a lot of pop singers who won't talk a lot, because it's not about screaming technique. It's at this point, it's about, if you talk too much, you overuse your voice, and then you go try to scream, that's when it happens.
I see. And that opens up a lot of information, because I never really knew that. And knowing that now, bad. I'm just like, I was the asshole.
Dude, it's bad. There are also times when a lot of people don't know this as well, but when your vocal cords, when you start getting stressed out, or not stressed out, when your vocal cords start getting stressed from overuse and they start getting inflamed, and then you go try to scream, what happens is, even if your technique is good, you start to feel pain because your vocal cords are inflamed. So even if your technique is good, it's like now your vocal cords are starting to get involved. So now, instead of a false chord like kind of scream, now you have more of an because your vocal cords are inflamed. So they're involved in the scream, and what happens is they start to get tears, like literal physical tears. There are vocalists who, they're like, I tasted blood. It's like, because you did, like, you have these physical tears. And what happens is, even if that happens, like, I've had a time where I streamed for 20 hours straight, and after about 12 hours I was like, guys, my voice hurts. But of course it was New Year's. I got drunk, sobered up, and got drunk again, and I was like, fuck it, let's go for another 8 hours. So 14 hours in, I was like, guys, my voice really hurts. But of course I just kept going anyway. Next day, couldn't talk at all. 20-hour stream. So it takes about, if you lose your voice to the point where the next day you're like, yo man, like, I can't talk at all. This is as loud as my voice will get. It takes about 9 days of not talking at all to get back to 100%. That's all it takes.
Man.
Just only 9 days. And so I've tested it myself. I wanted to find out just exactly how long it takes to recover from that. I guess if your immune system or whatever isn't that great, it might take a little bit longer. But
yeah,
9 days still a long time to not talk at all, but like I just 9 days, I just didn't say a single word. And then after except for day 6, I was like, I tested it just to see. And then I was like, yeah, I'm going to wait a little bit more. But what
Man.
happens is when you're on tour, you can't take those 9 days.
Right.
When you're on, so it's like you have to keep doing vocals. So what happens is when you get those tears, mucus starts to cover them up, and when the mucus covers it up, it's just like a scab, kind of like it's trying to protect it so that you can heal properly. And then you're ripping open again. More mucus covers it up, rips open again, and you start developing these polyps, which are called vocal nodes, and those have to get surgically removed, and that's where you get permanent vocal damage. So the whole point, like I really should make a PSA about it, but the whole point is that all you have to do, like, because even if you have the worst technique in the world, you're only on stage for 30 minutes. You're not going to permanently fuck up your voice in 30 minutes. You're going to fuck up your voice because you talked all day and got hoarse and then did 30 minutes of over projection and made it worse. So I really should make a thing like letting people know, because I don't know if you know the guy from like Knocked Loose.
Knocked Loose.
That dude does not, I can't say for sure, but that guy sounds like he's not doing proper technique. To me, it sounds like he's just going like, I wrote a song about getting better. It's just like, dude, you're just yelling. And he tones it down live, but it sounds like they turned up the gain on the mic in the studio version to get extra distortion from the clipping. But when I hear him do it live, I'm like, that's not good. Like, but if this dude's following the steps and he's not doing drugs, not drinking too much, not smoking, not talking too much, it's like he could totally get away. He could probably spend the next 40 years doing that improper technique, and as long as he followed everything else to the T, he'd be fine.
Wow, that's actually really interesting information to have on that. I've always
It's my opinion. It's my opinion. Like, obviously, I'm not like, I'm a vocal coach, but I'm not a professional, But it's based on what I learned touring, what information I've collected from other professionals, people I've talked to who have been doing vocals for years and years and years. And it's like, this is my opinion that the talking is what does you in. It really is.
Well, like I said, I mean, that is interesting information to have because, I mean, it makes sense just based on it's always the vocalists that end up walking away and they're quiet and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And, it's not very helpful that the guitarists were like, oh, it's just him. Whenever I would ask him, what's his problem there? Oh, it's just him. Don't worry about it. And they would just blow it off. And it's probably, honestly, the guitarists that would do that are probably just so tired of answering that question. Then they're just like, nah.
Yep.
They just,
yeah. Yep. It's that, and it's also another problem is that, so like in my case, like I'm a friendly guy, I'm very charismatic, I'm very eccentric, I'm a people person. So it kills me that I'm on tour and I'm like, these people want to talk to me and I can't talk to them. Like I can, but I'm not going to. So I'm just like I'll gesticulate. I'm like, yeah, I want to listen. I'll crack jokes with my body and show them that I'm very much interested in anything they want to say to me, but I can't talk back because I'm this guy on YouTube. They know I'm a good vocalist. Everyone loves my voice. There's no way I'm gonna blow out my voice. Like, so I'm just like, I take every preventative measure as possible.
Nice.
Like in the studio, like I will go full out. Like I'm like, no one should rate this. But when I'm doing it on stage, I might be more like, no one should rate this. A little bit more fry, a little bit less glottal, just because I'm like, I have to do this for 30 days. Right. And on stage, when I'm competing with guitars and drums and bass, you're probably not even going to notice the difference.
Right. Majority of the time, I would imagine not. And it's kind of like, those people who are like, oh, you're not playing a real amp live. You brought Nax effects. And it's like, you're never going to know on live. You might hear it on an album.
People who get mad at drummers who use triggers.
Right.
It's like, dude, he's still playing it. Like, it's still him playing. It's just a trigger.
Right. Exactly. And that's the thing, I don't know, people look too deep into a lot of the stuff. If the music sounds good, it's usually good. Why worry about the nitty-gritty parts? Now, I can understand, like, from a point of Glenn Fricker, when it's like, oh, on your album, you're using the exact same drum samples that this guy used, this guy used, this guy used, this guy, and it does all start sounding the same. He goes, I can tell immediately.
Yeah, that's when it's
Right.
And I also don't like it when, so Tala, we don't play to click tracks. Max is his own little free spirit, speeds up the song, slows them down. Quick tangent, there was one time no one in the band told me they were going to slow down the breakdown of We the Sad. So
Ah,
I'm waiting for it, and like usually the tempo is like bow, bow, now, dun 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 dun. He does his drum solo, and I usually try to time it so I do a front flip, so I land right when the breakdown comes back in. I do the front flip, no one comes in, and then I hear bow, down, dun dun dun. I was like, what the hell is going on, and why didn't anyone tell me?
oh man.
So Max is a free spirit. Sometimes he likes to speed up red light. So it gets to that rap part.
Yeah.
And it's going so fast that I can't keep up. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, she knocked twice. And I'm like, honey, gotta go. And I'm just like, I can't keep up. So I just start going, because I'm just like, Max, slow down, dude. But the point of the tangent is that a lot of bands today, they play to click tracks because they want to use samples, which is fine, but it also encourages a lot of vocalists to play backing tracks to their vocals. And then from there, it's like, you know what, man, I can't really sing tonight. So why don't we put my main vocal track in and I'll do the backing tracks? And then it's like, you're like half a step down from lip syncing at this point.
Right.
And then it goes into the whole like, hey, is Rings of Saturn miming their guitar? Like at this point,
Right.
it's like one of the biggest things between pop and rap versus metal is that, hey, these guys are jumping around on the stage pretending. Metal people, they're doing it for real. And now it's like, all right, now a lot of metal people are pretending. So it's like, it's kind of starting to, I'm not okay with it.
Man.
I understand wanting to sound good, but there's this line that if you're going to be in the metal genre, you shouldn't cross it. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, I had this thing, I talked to the band about it, and I was like, if I ever, like, blew out my voice on tour because I wasn't following my own, rules, and I was talking too much, and just maybe I overprojected one night, and I just blew out my voice, I was like, I never want you guys to cancel a show. I will go out there, and I will be like, hey, guys, I actually messed up my voice because I was being irresponsible, so the band's gonna play and I'm just gonna be a hype man. And I will go on stage and just go fucking nuts and just not do vocals. And I'm sure every single person in that crowd will not only respect me for telling the truth, but respect the band for not canceling.
Not to mention, I think the crowd would have fun having you jump down in the crowd a lot.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Like, I'd have the mic and be like, here, you sing the song. They just want me to be there. Like, they will understand if I'm like, hey, I'm taking care of myself, so I'm not going to sing tonight, but I still want you guys to have a good time. The band's still going to play, and I'm still going to lose my shit. But I will be even more interactive. I'm just like, that to me is more honest, more fun, and more respectful to your fans than canceling a show or lip syncing.
Oh man, that's just absolute truth. Like, I would not want to go to a show and watch somebody lip sync. And I actually got in trouble. It was quite a few years ago. Rings of Saturn did that whole video with the clocks behind them, and I was like, and it was direct, like, it sounded like a mix, and I was like, why didn't y'all just play it with crappy amps in the room and just have one microphone set up? And he was like, I am not faking it, and chewed me out. And I was like,
here's the thing, unpopular opinion, I think he is faking it. He's a fantastic guitarist.
He is.
But I think he's so caught up in the fact that he is a fantastic guitarist that he's afraid of letting people down.
It's a possibility. I don't know. He could be that good. I don't want to be the one to say he's not, because good Lord, he is really playing it, like, at least on the albums.
No, he's phenomenal.
Exactly.
But the thing about that whole thing, like, hey, we're doing it with clocks behind us, and we're showing, this is the computer showing it, recording as I'm doing it.
Right.
What if you already did it? What if you already recorded it and you're just miming to that to make it look like it's in real time? We don't know because we're not there.
Glenn Fricker actually has a screensaver that's just like 2 hours long of like just a song writing. And it's just a screensaver. So it is possible. And he just has it on his computer. If you ever watch his shows, he'll just have it on the background. His whole entire studio's behind him while he's talking, and he'll just have like it's a little screensaver. And it's so cool, and I've been trying to find it because I want it. Just because I love the thing. I was like,
yeah, man. It's one of those things. It's also, not to throw shade, but the
Right.
thing about is when you're a person, it's like what we were talking about earlier with the homophobes. When you're like, I'm not gay, fuck gay people, I'm not gay, I'm
Right.
not gay, and it's like, okay, but are you?
Right.
It's the same thing. If you're like, I'm not faking it, I'm not faking it, I swear I'm not faking it. At that point, it's like, are you faking it? Why are you being so like,
Right.
why are you so adamant? It's like me when I do my vocal covers on YouTube. I'm like, these are in real time. Why do I know they're in real time? Because I did them in real time. You can hear the mistakes. Like, I did it, it's there. And I never say I did it in one take because I'm like, it's not like I did 5 takes of this and this was the only one that I didn't fuck up. So that's the one I uploaded and I did fuck it up. You know, there are mistakes in it, but it's like, if people accuse me of it, I'm not going to be like, yo man, like, no, it's real. Look at this clock. Look at this
Right.
audio wave behind me. It's like, no, I know it's real, and that's all that matters to me. If you don't believe me, that's on you. Come to a live show, and you'll hear that I sound great.
Right. Exactly.
That's all there is to it. And I'm not trying to be arrogant, but I'm just like, when you get so defensive about like I'm a good player and I'm gonna prove it to you. Like, look at these clocks. I'm gonna show the world. It's like, no, dude. If you really are, if people are accusing you of not being real, and you really want to show the truth, go on stage and play a solo, like without anyone else, and just like look. Like, do you remember that guy? So you followed the Jared Dines thing where he was accusing
Yes.
people of miming, right?
Right.
And that one guy, I cannot remember his name, but it was the guy with the glitchy hands.
Yes.
And he didn't get super defensive about it. You know what he did? He uploaded a video of him on stage before his band was playing, and it's just him playing guitar. And
Right.
the lighting is normal, and it's not even that impressive, but you're looking at his hands, and you're like, dude, it looks like his hands are glitching out in this. And it's just like, he didn't get super defensive about it. He was just like, no, honestly, like, that's just, I got glitchy looking hands, man. So it was just like, all right, like, he proved to people he's not miming. And one of them, he was definitely miming because his guitar wasn't even plugged in. But,
I see. Right.
but he didn't get super defensive about it. And I'm like, the fact that Lucas, man, is so defensive about it, I was just like, dude, like, I don't want to throw a shade, but like, if you're telling the truth, then just you in your heart are the one person who knows if you're telling the truth or not. People can
Right.
speculate all day, but if you're telling the truth, why are you so defensive?
Absolutely. I definitely understand that. I don't know. I got chewed out. This was over Facebook too. I don't even know if he has a Facebook anymore on that, but it was just funny because I was like, couldn't you just played this with like a crappy microphone, a mic in the room? I was like, if more people would believe it, but he took it as me like criticizing him, and I was like, I wasn't saying it was fake. I was like, I swear I wasn't saying it was fake. I'm just saying if you wanted people to stop being negative, I was like, you got to make it as raw as possible to show people.
Yes, that's what Alex Terrible did. Everyone's like, oh, dude, his vocals are fake. So he just starts recording his freaking amazing screams through his iPhone, like on
Right.
Snapchat and shit. It's like, dude, that didn't sound fake to me, dude.
Right. Exactly. And that really is honestly, that's the best policy. And, you know, I understand even if he is really telling the truth on this and he's like, it shouldn't matter if I have to do it. And it's like, well, then it shouldn't matter at all. Just ignore him, you know, at that point.
Yeah. That's the thing about you. You heard the Demolisher, right?
Right. I have heard that.
Everyone's like, is that real or not when he's doing that insane part?
Right.
At that point, it's like, we have heard, Alex go that low. But at that point, it's like, who cares? It sounds so cool. Who cares?
I mean, I do have to say... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, like, because everyone's like, it sounds pitch shifted. But it's like, okay, but it sounds sick in the song. And if it's live... Maybe he'll do it live. Maybe they'll play the original audio. It doesn't matter. It's a cool freaking part. So
Absolutely.
I'm kind of on board with Lucas, man, at that point where I'm like, all right, Rings of Saturn is just trying to give you the best possible show. So it's like, even if he was miming these parts, it's like, who cares? It sounds awesome. Like, he
really
did play
does.
it at some point in time, and it sounds great. So who cares?
I mean, right now I'm trying to learn Godless Times. And oh my God, is that hard? It is so hard.
I can't even dream about playing that song.
Oh man, it's not impossible by any means. It's not impossible. But man, it's just like he's sliding so much on that arpeggio. It's just that it's amazing.
He is amazing.
He really is.
He's just one of those guitarists where even though I'm skeptical about whether or not, he does do it live or not, because I'm not going to like I personally
Right.
I don't know if he does it. If personally, all I'm going to say is the video that Jared talked about, the video in question, that
Right.
looks fake to me. That's my opinion on that. I don't know if he does it in other shows, and he is one of my favorite guitarists. He is so good. But I'm just like, at this point, I really don't care. If I went to see them play and I found out that he mimed it the whole time, I wouldn't be mad. Like, I'd be like, I don't care. I had a good time at the show. I really don't care.
Exactly. Have you seen his response video to Jared Dines?
I watched that first.
Oh, okay. I did too.
His video,
That's interesting.
his video popped up in my recommended, and I was like, Lucas Mann, that's the guy from Rings of Saturn. What's going on? Why is he talking for 40 minutes? I watched that first, and then I happened to watch Jared's after, right before he took it down. And I was like, okay, so he didn't really accuse him of miming. He just said, so when you play like this, and then showed the clip, he goes, it looks fake. Like,
Right.
he didn't even really accuse him, but then in the comments he did. But when I watched Lucas's whole thing first, I was just like, this guy is taking a very, very long time to convince me that it was,
Right.
that Jared's the bad guy, and he's throwing all the blame and throwing him under the bus. I was like, honestly, and he kind of, not to, keep throwing shade, but in his video, I'm like, you kind of incriminated yourself, Lucas, because he's showing all the screenshots of the conversation he had with Jared, and Jared's like, come on, be honest with me, bro. Like, did you do it or not? And he's like, the first thing he said was, you're not hearing my guitar, you're hearing the other guy's guitar in my monitor. And then, he keeps going, and then eventually he's like, so here's what happened. You're
Right.
hearing a backing harmony track in my monitor. You're not hearing mine. And I'm like, all right,
Exactly.
first of all, I've played guitar in a band. Why isn't your own guitar in your monitor? Maybe he's so good that he doesn't need to hear himself. I don't know. But I'm like,
Yeah.
why didn't you just say that? If it was a backing harmony, why wasn't the first thing you said to Jared when he questioned you is, no, that's not my guitar you're hearing. It's the backing harmony in the monitor.
Right.
Why did you toss the blame to someone else and then have this whole debate about it, and then like 2 days later make a video 40 minutes explaining it and getting people to vouch for you and showing and trying to prove that this is you? It's just like, okay, all you had to do from the very beginning is just tell the truth. But to me, Lucas's video sounded more like, hey, I've had a lot of time to figure out a way to pull myself out of this hole that I've clearly dug for myself.
Right. And all he needed to do was when he was making his video, he could have just sat down and practiced it and been like, watch this.
Yep, that's all I need to do.
That
It
would
could
have
have
solved
been 30 seconds long, and that would have every what's the word? Like, not skepticism, but like every doubt that anybody had would have been done. Just like, here's a shitty amp, here's my guitar, there's no pre-recorded anything, just listen to me shred, and it would have been like, all right, he's good.
Right.
And clearly, like I said, he is really good. It's like, at that point, it's like, if you can move your fingers that fast,
Right.
there's no, like, you're that good.
Exactly.
So it's like, just play it. No one's gonna care if you miss one note or if you hear a little bit of fret noise. No one's
Exactly.
gonna give a shit.
Exactly, especially live. I know he wants to always have it perfect, but man, it's perfect the way it is, no matter how you play it live, because you're that good,
And we're our own worst critics. Like, there's this show. It's live. Like, if you type Tala live, it's this one that comes up right here. It's called Dark and Heavy Camp Fest. This was one of my favorite shows ever because it was like at this like weird BDSM festival thing. So I put on like cat ears and just dressed like a skank.
Nice.
But the person who filmed this is sitting right next to the vocal thing. So you hear everything, but my vocals are very, very loud. And I was going extra hard at this. Like, you can see it in the video. Like, this is half the show, though half the songs aren't there. But like, I was just jumping around. I was moshing with the crowd. I was going so nuts that I started getting out of breath. And so some of my notes are not the greatest. But like, you don't hear me out there going like, yeah, dude, like, everything, everything needs to be perfect. So I'm just going to start lip syncing because I don't want to let people down. It's like, no, I'm fully aware that I fucked up some of these notes, but I really don't care because I had a good time. Clearly everybody there had a good time. And no one has me on this pedestal where they're like, dude, this guy's never misses a beat. Like I do live streams and people are like, he doesn't sound as good as usual. And it's like, because I've been singing for 3 hours and I'm one taking every song.
Absolutely.
Like it's just people, it's like I get where Lucas is coming from. Like in my opinion, he's one of the best guitar players like there is.
Without a doubt.
And when you have that amount of pressure and all these people putting you up on this pedestal where it's like he's the best, the idea of messing up in front of people is very scary.
Yeah,
but
I would imagine.
In my opinion, part of being a vocalist is being able to handle that and understand I'm a human being and I am going to mess up and let people down sometimes. Like, when I first joined Talo, we used to do Given Up by Linkin Park live. Mm-hmm. The first time we played it, I nailed that scream live. And I was like, oh my God, I did it. And there were other times where I just moved around too much and I had to break it up into 2 screams. And I was beating myself up about it. I'm like, I can't believe I did that. I just let so many people down. Not a single person came up to me and said, dude, I can't believe you missed that scream. They were like, dude, it was so awesome when you played that song. Like nobody cares. And then I had to sit at home and like I watched Chester fail. There were so many times when Chester had to, and I'm like, the man himself had to break it up into 2 screams. We're human beings. Like, it's okay to make mistakes.
Jesus Christ, listening to Chester scream it that long, and I'm sure you watch 10-second songs, Anthony Vincent.
Yeah.
And him do that stuff, too. It's just like,
Dude.
It's like, how? I can't even get I can't even do 5 seconds of it. Whenever I'm in my car, I'm like, okay, I'm good.
No, it's all... That scream, I have experimented with it so many times. It's literally all about the screams leading up to that scream and how much you handle them and how much you project the initial part.
Oh man.
Like when that first scream, like when people have me do that on YouTube, I can tell right away if I'm going to be able to do it or not based on just the second I go, fucking misery! If I hit that too hard, just that half a second with that, if I hit that too hard, I'm like, there's no way I'm going to do it. If you have to hit it perfect so that you can ride that just stabilized rasp. All you have to do is make it to the part where the note drops, where he does the, if you can get to that second part, you're going to nail it. But if you hit that first part too hard, there's no way.
That makes sense. I am not skilled enough on vocals by any means to even attempt that.
Oh, no, you could. I remember the first time I heard it, I was like, there's no way I can do that. And so I went, and it was when I lived in my old house. I was in my basement, and I just tried the scream by itself. And I carried it for like 20-something seconds. And I was like, all right, like, I'm pretty sure I could do this. Then I did the whole song, and I failed. I only made it to like 12 seconds, and I was like, all right. So the scream itself is not difficult. What's difficult is everything leading up to that scream. Because that's where you're going to tire yourself out. That's where if you overproject, if you scream too hard. Because if you notice, like, there's a difference. Like, in my video, the Hungry Covers one, I don't hit it like, misery! I don't go 100%. I go, misery! And I almost do it like this almost half fry, half glottal thing because it lets me carry it the length that I need to with all that built up to it. Okay. It's all about that moment. If I hit it pure false chord, there's no way I could do it. If I hit it pure fry, I could do it no problem. But you need the glottal compression to hit the pitches as well. And so it's like you have to find the perfect amount of glottal compression and fry overtone to make it sound like a scream.
Man,
there's so much behind it, dude.
That is crazy though. I might have to sign up for some vocal lessons.
It did. Oh my gosh. So like every time I do the first lesson, I'm like, I apologize for what's about to happen. And then everyone just leaves like, I'm like, all right, you got any questions? And they're just like, that was a lot, man. Like that was a lot because like the amount of vocal knowledge I have, like I sit when I'm bored, like most people like play video games. I will like, sometimes I play video games, but I like to just sit on YouTube and just analyze people's vocals. I'm like, what is he doing? He's doing this and this and this. Let's hear him do it live. Why couldn't he do it live? Oh, because live he's over projecting, or he's doing this, or he's holding back. And I'm like, there's just certain things people do, and it's just so much fun. I'm just like, I love it, dude.
Man, that's what I do with guitar for the most part. Like, I mean,
Yup.
I'm like looking up. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna look up the craziest solo I can find, and it's like, okay, how did he do it?
What is he doing?
And
I wish I could do that with guitar.
Man, when it comes down to it, like, if you want to learn anything up into those, like, what was it that I first started? I think I was legitimately first starting to play Insiphirum stuff. And then I went on to Winter Sun, and oh my god, Yari's guitar is unbelievable, the crap he plays. So I've been just... And I shouldn't have tried to learn it as early as I did, but I just kept working with it and working with it and working with it. And I was like, I'm gonna get this. Until eventually, I kept trying to just... I realized my mistakes. I was trying to just learn that whole solo. I needed to break it up into parts, play it slow, memorize all of it very slowly, play it incorrectly for a while, and then, after I got all the muscle memory down, playing it correctly, just listening to it and playing along with it, took me a couple hours, and I was like, oh, I can play it now.
Man, see, I probably could be as good as some of these people if I really tried.
Easily.
But the problem is that, so I consider myself like an intermediate guitarist. So I'm like I know like the names of all the notes for like the first 2 strings. And then once I get into the other ones, I'm like, I'm not really sure what I'm playing anymore. I know all the modes. I know a lot of scales, but I'm like, and I'm pretty quick. Like I can tap, I can sweep. You know, I've been working on like the 2-hand tapping stuff, and that is a nightmare.
Nice.
I'm like, this is really hard. But I'm like, I'm a pretty decent guitarist. But I'm like, when I was 17 is when I started focusing on vocals, and I kind of plateaued on guitar for a while. And I'm like, why do I think I did that? And I was like, well, I started playing guitar when I was 10, and I really got into guitar when I was 15. And when I was 15, I mostly listened to Metallica, Van Halen, and Iron Maiden. So those guitarists were my 3 favorites. Yes. So I'm like, those are the solos I'm playing, Kirk Hammett and Van Halen kind of stuff. And so I'm like, that's kind of like, in my mind, I was like, this is like a good guitar player. And it's like, there are people who are miles better than them. But because those are the people I idolized, I was like, once I can play their stuff, I was like, all right, like I reached my goal. So I never felt the need to go more. And then I started listening to like Dragon Force and like Animals as Leaders and stuff like that.
Jeez,
and I was like, it seemed so out of my league that I just couldn't even set the goal. I was like, I don't think I'm ever going to be able to play this. And because I did that, I think that's why I'm not as good as I'd like to be. Whereas vocally, I was always like, this guy sounds amazing. I'm going to learn how to do that. And even today, like I'm like, I don't know what that guy's doing, but I'm going to learn how to do it. Since since January, I've been trying to do vocal runs because I wanted to learn how to do them. That's like the and I was like, I can't do it. I've never been able to do it. And I want to be able to do that. Those freaking R&B, like it's the one thing I can't do. So I just started learning how to do it. And I'd sit there and just and do them real slow. Started practicing vocal scales. And after like 5 months, like I was singing like an Edwin McCain song in the car. And I was just like, yo, I did it. What? When did this happen? And I'm like, if I did that with guitar, if I would just set these goals, I could do it. But I do it with vocals instead.
That makes a lot of sense.
I just plateau.
It seems that a lot of them are pretty much the same technique, you know? Start off slow, practice it a lot, and then speed it up. I mean, it sounds so like common sense, but it's like, until you really do it, it's like, you find out that you really, even though you say you do it, and you try to do it, until you sit there and really practice it and work with it, you realize the mistakes that you're actually making while practicing. And that was my biggest problem with learning guitar for the longest time is, I'm practicing this. Why aren't I getting better? I'm practicing this. I'm not getting better. And I realized, well, because I'm doing it, I'm doing the wrong technique the whole time. And that's why I'm not getting better. Like a good example with this, learning Bleed, the intro. There's this...
Meshuggah?
Yeah. And it's, well, I don't know if you can hear this at all, but I was doing it's a triplet, right? So it's go...
Yeah, I can't hear it.
Okay. You'd actually, I don't know if you could pull the stream up and hear it that way, because everyone should be able to hear it through there.
Let me check.
And white nationalism? Wait, what an excellent surprise to see what I'm looking for. Oh, bearing. I see how it is, man. Surface a lot. It,
all right, I got the stream pulled up.
So typically, it's pretty much a triplet. It's like... But what's the biggest problem that I was having is learning how to divide that first note. So it's actually... So when it does that, you have to learn how to speed that up properly. So you're speeding up, slowing down, and eventually get... So you're getting that, and I was having so much problem keeping time with it, because I was doing it like, my picking technique was this, when it should have been the whole time this. So you gotta put your wrist into it, so it's...
Okay. This is so weird because you're telling me in real time and then I hear the guitar like 10 seconds later.
Pretty much, yeah. And I kind of figured it'd be a little strange. But when you hear it, it's like, oh shit, that's bleed. And when I first got it, I was like, yeah, just about fixing to toss this guitar all the way across the room. And I was just
I gotta show you something hilarious now. Oh my gosh. Oh. So, I did the thing you're talking about. So, like, when I wanted to learn to play that song,
yeah,
I was thinking of triplets like you said. I was going,
exactly.
But I do it with my wrist, but I couldn't do it fast enough. So I just would tighten my bicep so I could just go.
Yes.
And I would do that, and I'm doing it the wrong way, but I was so determined that I just sat there and did it until my arm burned, until I got the muscle power to actually just be able to just keep going like this. So I'm doing it wrong, but I just like bullheaded my way through it because I didn't want to sit there and learn the proper technique.
Well, it's interesting. Oh, I'll probably have to tell you when the... So it's actually interesting about that proper technique is it sounds faster than what it is, and it's actually not. And that was my biggest problem is I'm sitting there going, I can't do it fast enough. But, whenever you're actually doing it, and it's just this motion. It's and it's just...
It's so funny.
It's
the same thing with kick drums. You watch these people doing these ankle techniques.
Yes.
And when I used to drum, I'm like sitting there, I'm like, I need to be as fast as them. So I just started doing like, I'm all thighs, and I'm just like, I can do it. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm getting so much more tired than them, but I'm like, it's like an ego thing. I'm like sitting there and I'm like, I don't want to have to start over. I don't want to have to learn this thing from scratch. So I'm just going to bullhead the way that I know until I can do it my way. And it's like, I remember when Sarah Longfield,
yeah.
When she did that cover of Bleed, and I watched her hand doing the thing, I was just like, what is she doing? That's not how I play it. And I was like, she looks like she's not even trying. And I'm like sweating by the end of the song. I'm like, I can play the song, but by the end of it, I'm like, my arm is going to fall off because I'm just sitting there powering through it.
That was exactly my problem. I was getting way too tired, and I was like, what? How does this guy have this much muscle? And I saw that he played it. The way he plays it is weird. Most people hold a pick like this, but he plays it like this. You just kind of have your fingers out.
Yeah, that's how I hold it. I got the fingers out, and then I got it just there, and just...
You know how he does it? He has a closed fist, and whenever he's...
Ew!
It seems weird. And when I tried it, I was like, oh, this feels weird, and I practiced with it, and when I do it with the closed fist now, it has this power in it, but you're only doing this with your wrist. So it has the power.
I like that.
I didn't like it at first either at all. I refused to do it. I was like, I'll learn how to do it open-handed. But now that I do it like this, it's just like, I understand why he does it like that now. And if you ever watch the video on it, you can see his closed fist hitting it like that. And it's just like,
that's
whoa.
So funny.
It's strange, but I was like, I'll go ahead and learn it because he's doing it for a reason. He's got to be, and I'm not getting it. And I was like, there's got to be a reason why. And so I
Yeah,
tried it, and I
man.
was like, I'm getting it now. And it's because of his technique. And I was just like,
It's the little things go such a long way.
exactly. And I don't know why, whenever you close your fist up, for some reason, it's concentrated more. You're getting more power to the string, and you're not getting hung up on the string as much. And that's really what did it for me, is when I do it open-handed like this, sometimes the pick will get stuck on the string, and I'll miss a couple notes. When I have a closed fist and I'm doing it, it's pushing that string like it's paper. You know what I mean? It's like there's nothing there in my way. There's no resistance. And that was a big obstacle.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, man. It's just one of those things. It's like, because when you reach a certain level of, skill, you don't want to have to start over. You want to
Right.
be able to like I'm already this good, so I don't want to have to go back to square one. But it's like, if you want to do it, you have to. Like, you really
Exactly.
do.
That was such a huge problem for me because I did have an ego when I was playing guitar. Like this
Oh
was
yeah,
only like two
everybody
years
does. I do
ago,
too.
and I had to shatter that ego because I was like, I'm never going to become as good as these people that I worship here. Pretty much that if I don't I don't know if
Last thing you said was that you had to humble yourself.
right. I had to. Oh, okay. The stream just turned back on. Oopsies. The I had to humble myself and I had to shatter my ego because I was like, I'm never going to become as good as these people if I don't do that. Because I would always be like, look at what I can do. This is awesome. Like, this is great. But I couldn't, I realized I had all these cool techniques. I can do all these crazy sweeps and stuff. But when I would play songs, I always, like, whenever I play a cool song, I always try to do a solo with it. And I was like, I don't know how to really do that. And so I had to reconstruct it and listen to everything and break it all down and be like, why can't I make good notes with this? And then I figured it out and I was like, this is how to do it. This is how everyone else is doing it. They're doing these runs. They're staying like, this is going to blow your mind. If you were to ask me what arpeggio I'm playing, what mode I'm playing, what scale or anything, I'm going to tell you flat out, I don't know. I have no clue.
Oh man, so you're like a better version of me. Like, I've been learning that stuff just last year because I was like, man, I'm an okay guitarist and I have no idea what I'm doing. So I'm like, I want to know what I'm playing in. And so I have my guitar teacher start teaching me all the modes, start teaching me all that stuff because I subconsciously knew them because I'm like, just based on sound. I'm like, yeah, I like the sound of Aeolian. I didn't know I was playing Aeolian shit. And then I remember I went back and like everyone's like, "Oh, Justin, you're such a musical genius." And I went back and like analyzed like all the keys that I played in for the Uriah Ascent, and I was like, it's all D minor, it's all G. Like there are like two G minors, and then there was one that was like C or A minor. I both. I don't know, the relative thing, but
Yeah.
I was just like, I wrote everything in the same three keys, like. And I didn't even know it. It's just based off I was like, I like this sound. I'm going to play it in this. But
So, if you were to ask me anything about musical theory, I could tell you almost everything about it involving saxophone. I'm not even kidding. Everything. Like, I learned almost all of it. I was a major band kid, in high school, and I learned everything. And I was trying to translate that into guitar, which is actually not that hard to do. It just takes time. But the moment I realized musical theory is only good for one thing, and it's super useful in this thing. If I tell somebody I'm playing in the key of C and I need you to play a pentatonic minor in the key of C, somebody else that knows musical theory, they do it immediately and they can make a beautiful solo out of it. It's communication. But I realized it's just a language to tell people what it is you are doing.
yes, I learned that the hard way.
Exactly. And once I realized that I was spending too much time learning that stuff on guitar and not learning any of these crazy techniques like economy picking and how to string together all
I
the solos
tried
and
that.
stuff.
Economy picking's hard.
It's difficult, but man, it's so worth learning because once you get it down,
I don't even know where to
my
start
God.
with that. I remember I was watching the old bassist from Toothless, Mark something. He can do that. And I remember I was watching him do it and I was like, what are you even doing? He's like, oh yeah, man, I'm just like like blue. And I was just like, how do you even begin to learn how to do that?
Oops.
And it was so funny because this guy, he was their bassist. And he's like one of the most amazing guitar players I've ever seen. I was just like, why are you playing bass?
Absolutely. And that's crazy too, because one of the best guitarists ever was in Periphery. And of course, you know, there's 3 guitarists in Periphery, more or less, and then a bass player. There was oh shoot, I can't name them all. One of them's John Petrucci's nephew, of course. So y'all are band related.
Hey.
Yeah, y'all have some connection to Periphery, actually, which is pretty cool. Which is why it's Mark Holcomb is his name.
Okay.
And that's why I always call Mike Portnoy Mark Portnoy. I always do that because of Periphery, and I confuse their 2 names, and I'm like, well, they're not... Mike's not even related to Mark. He's just, you know, in kind of sister bands, I guess you could say. Because it's Petrucci's nephew. But it's actually Nolly. And his... Nolly Get Good.
Yeah, I know him. Well, I don't know him, but he mixed... So Max's old band, Next to None, he mixed them.
Uh-huh. He absolutely, he mixed some Dream Theater. He mixes all of Devin Townsend's stuff now.
He's really good.
Yeah. They call him Nolly Get Good for a reason. He is a
yeah, he's got Get Good drums.
Exactly. He created Get Good drums, and he's doing amp sims, and of course he does everything for Misha Mansour, because he was in the band with them and all. Mm-hmm. But he was the bass player in Periphery.
Okay.
Because he's that good. And if you ever listen to the bass tracks in Periphery...
But he's a guitar player?
Yes. Oh, yeah, he's a guitar player.
That confuses me. But he's just like, you know what? I'm just going to play bass.
Exactly. Well, it needed to be him. Because I don't think there's a guy alive that could play those bass tracks.
Oh, so they're guitar tracks on bass.
Kind of. He plays the bass like you would expect to hear a bass for sure. And he plays it with a bass feel. But he is like, yeah, he's a guitarist on bass, and he is a god.
Wow.
And it's like, there's only one other bass player I could think that could hold a candle. And of course, the band he's in is Dream Theater.
Ah.
You know what I mean?
Wait, is it, what's that guy's name? Is it Billy Sheehan?
I believe so.
Dude, I saw Billy Sheehan live. He was with Sons of Apollo. And I saw him live for the first time this year. And I was just like, he played this like bass solo. It was just like everyone just kind of chilled for a minute, and he just played this it was like a 10-minute bass solo and something. And I was just like, I feel like what he's doing to that bass right now should be illegal. Like, he was so good. I was just like, what are you doing?
Right. Oh my God. It's unbelievable.
Was that him? Dream Theater bassist.
I feel bad that I can't remember bassist names very well.
John Myung is the Dream Theater bassist. So this guy,
okay.
Oh man, hold on, you gotta see. I don't know if it's with a Y. This guy. I don't know if this is the one that I want, but I'm just gonna. I haven't seen this video, but I'm gonna send it to you. This guy might be able to. This dude is really good on bass.
Oh yeah. Let me just pop a look at this. The video I sent you is how I learned a lot of my stuff. Timu from Winter Sun, he's an excellent teacher.
Oh, immediately, just, I'm just like, oh.
Exactly. Timu's, oh my God, and that's economy picking that he's doing right there at the beginning.
So hold on, is economy picking the one where you pick, but then you like do this with your other fingers as well?
Oh, no, that's
something else?
That's chicken picking.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking of. I mistook that from economy picking.
So economy picking...
what is economy picking?
It is a mixture of sweep picking and alternating picking at the same time. So he's doing partial sweeps, and it's legitimately what it sounds. You only hit the notes you really need to. But in sweep picking...
Oh, Derek from Tala can do that.
Yeah. There you go.
Jeez. I never knew that was what it was called. I thought he was just doing... Okay. So I have actually never tried this. I tried the chicken thing, and I was
Chicken
like,
picking
I
can
couldn't
be
even do
difficult.
that. I was like, what am I doing? And I watched the dude from Toothless do it. He's just doing these like weird like. I was just like, what is going on? You're picking and using your fingers at the same time.
So the
So I thought that was called economy picking. That's chicken picking. Okay.
So the best way to learn chicken picking is it's an original form. And can you guess what instrument something called chicken picking would have been on?
Probably like a banjo.
You're exactly right.
Nice.
So believe it or not, that's how I learned how to do chicken picking. And I don't do it particularly well because I haven't practiced it, but I can do it. And that is one of the best ways to learn, is do it on a banjo.
I'm gonna have to get myself a banjo.
They're cool. They're fun. It's really easy to play banjo because all the techniques in the chicken picking, everything else is chords, but it doesn't sound like it. You never hear
that's
a banjo.
how they do that. Okay.
Exactly. Exactly. And they're not actually moving all their hands like that either. It's just a chord, and then they're doing it like that. And they're switching back and forth between like 2 or 3 chords, and they're playing all that.
All right, man. Oh, it's 5 a.m. now.
Sorry about that.
I tried to leave at like 3:30, but you sucked me back in.
Oh man,
you're good at that.
My
no,
bad.
dude, it's not your fault. It's just you're a really fun person to talk to. Like I could legit talk to you for hours, dude.
Man,
So,
I appreciate that.
But you're like I'm trying to. I can tell it's time to go because you're telling me about the chicken picking and the banjo, and I'm just like.
How did we get here?
This is where I'm tapping out at. I'm tapping out at banjos.
Man, absolutely. I'm sorry to drag you back in, man. You were so much fun to talk to. For sure, we got to do this again here soon.
Yeah, dude, hit me up in like a couple weeks, and
Absolutely.
I'll make sure because I might be busy end of July, early August, but maybe mid-August, I think. So yeah, mid-August, hit me up again.
And sounds good
Because
for sure.
Tala's gonna be pretty busy end of July into early August, just getting some stuff ready because the album comes out in October. So I want to make sure that I focus on that. But I say probably like mid-August, hit me up and we got to do another one of these for sure.
Absolutely. I am super down. And in all fairness, I'm still going to be sending you random shit probably every day.
Oh yeah, dude, absolutely. It doesn't bother me at all. You're the man.
And you too, for sure. And it was great talking with you.
Thanks for some awesome conversations, dude. Again, send me the stream when it's up so I can post it around because I have so much fun with this.
And same here. And I appreciate it, man. You definitely get some sleep. I'm not going to be too far behind.
Yeah. I'm like my eyes, man, but like, oh man, wow. The banjo, that's where I'm. Yeah. I'll talk to you later, man. Peace.
You too, man. You have a good night.
You too.
Thank you. Oh my God. Oof. What a fun guy to talk to, honestly. So yeah, how you guys doing? And Squidman, yeah, I saw your thing earlier too. Let's see. I just wanted to read that out loud real quick. Haha, F, man, your vids are cancer. From anti-SJW to pushing white nationalism. Oh, that's why you questioned that. I thought you were, for some reason, Bearing, I thought you were responding to Surf Phase a lot. What an excellent surprise to see what I'm looking for, something to watch. And I thought you were like white nationalism. And I was like, oh, I see how it is. My bad, man. I thought you were poking fun at me. Sorry. Yeah, man, oof. Jeez, but seriously, that's funny how stupid your fan base is for letting them grift so badly. I wish I could pull up your channel there, Squidman, just to see how excellent your fan base is. Not to just throw you under the bus, but come on, dude, really? People like what they like. Why is that such a bad thing? And I want to know, what video did Bearing ever upload that was of white nationalism? I mean, obviously, it was just a dig because you don't like him, right? Baseless attack. I wouldn't baselessly attack you there, Squidman. I'm sure you're a fine person in real life. You know what I mean? And I'm not being sarcastic. Although that does sound sarcastic, doesn't it? But anyway, shoot, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you guys so much for joining. Thank you to the guy who donated. Oh my God, you did not have to donate that much money to me at all. By any means. Like, $1 would have been fine. That would have surprised me. Like, I've never asked for money on here. This is the first time I've ever made money on YouTube. Holy crap. I didn't ever think that would be possible, to be honest. I thought probably I'd make it to 4,000 subs and then get banned. That's... I don't know. Have no idea. I wish I spoke Russian. I have no idea what you all are saying. And sorry I assumed that was Russian. It just has... it's not Japanese. I have no idea. Holy crap. So, Bering, are you, by chance, you still around? I don't know. You said, depends on how many enchiladas you eat. It seems everybody made Mexican food last night. I made Mexican food last night. My parents did. My friends did. My sister did. The hell was... It's not even Taco Tuesday. It is... Well, I guess for you it could be Taco Thursday. But it was Wednesday for me. Because time zones. Oh, man. Oh, wait. Bering is behind us on time, isn't he? Right? Are you the most forward? Hawaii. Okay, it's Hawaii that's all the way behind us. Never mind. No, Bering's all the way. He's at the front of the world. That's what they call it. He's sailing at the front of the pirate ship. Gotcha. But yeah, man. If you're around, I won't be live streaming after all this, but if you're still around, man, I'll probably hop in chat, and if you want to have some, discussions or anything like that, I'd be super down. I'm going to be up for the next 2 hours doing pretty much nothing. So if you decide to get on, man, I'll be in there. If not, it's all good. Totally understand. I'm just bored. But man, I got to end this stream with what an amazing guy Justin is. I can't wait to learn more. I'm going to be rewatching this and learning more about those vocals, because I would love to learn how to do vocals like that. That's super cool. Should I have this camera pointed down just a little more, because I look fat. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me. I will see you all in the next one. And I linked all of Justin's links down below. Go sub. Go check them out for sure. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.